Sometimes you just have to tinkle.
That's right.
You go ahead, tinkle, bell.
Okay. The race car's going by down the street, Ivan?
Go Speed Racer.
Talking about the motorcycles? Yeah, I got you out on the porch. It's fucking beautiful out
He's
here,
off and flying as the guns of car on the track. He's jamming down the pedal like he's never coming back. Adventure's waiting just ahead.
I'll tell you now, that movie, the live action, if you go ahead and smoke a bowl while you're watching that thing.
That movie sucked balls, man.
Yeah, it's
balls.
It's like what do they call sensory overload?
Yeah, trippy. Yeah, well, like I said, if you've smoked a bowl or you're pretty drunk, that movie is like, wow, colors, lots of colors everywhere.
I mean, I saw it straight and it sucked balls, man. So I'm just like...
I think it'd be a lot more fun. I think it'd be a lot more fun on drunk or on smoked a bowl.
There are some movies that neither beer nor weed can fix. That's one of them. So
hey, you know what? There are worse movies than the Speed Racer live action. There really are. I mean, there's some ones that you could sit there and you could go, oh yeah, that's. I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm not looking to go out of my way to go watch the live action Speed Racer anytime soon. But at the same time, it wasn't exactly like it was like, oh my god, this. Like if it was on HBO and I happened to catch it. Oh yeah, I'll watch it. But otherwise it's kind of no, I'm not going out of my way to go find it. No.
No, I mean, if it's a time waster to just between looking at my emails and shit, and I'll just look up and glance at the screen every now and again. That's probably as much attention as we need to it. But yeah, no, there's a lot worse movies. Racer, but yeah.
What movies have you enjoyed in an inebriated state that you thought weren't very good, but you watched it high or drunk or something? You're like, hey, that wasn't so bad.
Oh, Judge Dredd.
Which one, the Carl Urban or the Stallone?
The Stallone one.
Okay.
The Stallone one.
I saw that in the theater.
I saw it. Not only did I... Wait, you're going to love this. I saw it in the theater, and I was inebriated, because I was at one of those fancy schmancy places when I was in Indy, when I was in Indy in college, where they had food and beverage. So I was pretty hammered, and then I'm sitting near the front of the room, and this chair reclines, and there's that beginning part where it's kind of like you're flying around, and I was like, I almost almost fell out of the chair. It was that bad. It was like, whoa.
Did you feel like the Wicked Witch and the Wizard of Oz in the tornado cloud there?
No, it was just like, whoa, we're flying, man.
I can see Jeff in the tornado going through the window while Dorothy's watching him in the reclining chair.
No, it wasn't that. I mean, the weird part was it wasn't really a reclining chair. It was like this chair that you could recline in. So the best part is it was like a chair where, like, if I wasn't careful, I'd fall on my ass, too. So it's like I'm trying to balance at the same time, and I'm like,
oh my god.
Nice.
I remember the one time I saw saw Street Fighter, the one with Raul Julia.
Yep, I think that was his last role. I think it was his final role.
That was his final.
Okay, that movie was worse than Speed Racer.
Tell me about it. And I was high when I saw that.
Yeah, that's a bad movie. That's a really bad movie.
I just kept looking at it, hoping for more, and it was just like, hey, when does it get good? When does it get good?
Yeah.
By the time it's the end.
There's movies I wish I was high or drunk when I was watching it.
Yeah.
Like the live-action Dragon Ball movie, that sucked on ice.
There was a live-action Dragon Ball movie?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Oh, God. I'm glad I missed that thing.
Yeah, that sucked balls, too, believe me.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Mike.
No.
Did you watch the new Mortal Kombat movie yet? Because I gotta be honest. I mean, all I saw from it, I was like, this is going to suck balls. I'm not interested in this movie at all.
No, I only saw the first one long ago when on cable, so I've not followed the movies of the Mortal Kombat.
Right, neither have I. I'm the same way
No.
you are. And, like, people were excited about it. I'm like, did you see the first couple of Mortal Kombat movies? I mean, I'm like looking at the trailer. I'm like, this seems as shitty as the last couple from years ago.
I don't know what they could have done to improve it.
Right, exactly. I don't have any idea what they could have possibly done to improve it. I'm like,
put this way, you can throw the fucking CGI at it. You can throw whatever effects, whatever. Okay, a fucking badly written, badly put together movie. It's still a badly put together.
Actually, I take it back. You know what would have made it better?
What's that?
It's like if there was a scene where like they're all gang banging Sonya.
Okay, maybe
then maybe I might.
That's a different kind of movie.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, if they would have done the Sonya as a porn, that would have been the best 5 minutes out of the whole
movie. I don't know. I'm sure there is a Mortal Kombat porn parody out there.
I'm sure there is Mortal Kombat or something like that.
Carnal Combat, yeah.
Yeah, Carnal Combat.
But no, I did not see the Mortal Kombat film this week.
No,
it's number one in the box office for.
Is it really
this weekend?
God, yeah, that doesn't mean much right now.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, it's not like it was like Kong numbers though, right? It wasn't like.
I think it was like 22 million. I think was the weekend receipts. Yeah.
See that to me that says, oh my God, we can fucking go to a movie. I guess we'll go to a movie. It's because it's here. Versus Kong, the Kong Godzilla movie, where like people are like, yeah, I want to see that. That's the difference.
You think of Mortal Kombat, you think of the flatted fish. Wah, wah, wah.
Well, I gotta be honest with you. If before the that's also lying to you, but before the pandemic, that Kong movie would have been easily 100 million the first week.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
You got two of the biggest iconic characters that have been holding down theater goers for decades.
Yeah, but here's the other thing, Ivan. Here's the other thing. It's a good movie.
It was decent. Yeah, it was good.
In comparison to some of the other versions
Godzilla movies, yeah, they're good.
Or Godzilla versus Kong, those have not been so good. This was good. So, Walk Up would have been good the next couple of weeks, too. So, I think that we're talking about tracking. If it was in regular theaters and regular time without a pandemic, we're talking probably this is a $200 million movie, $300 million movie.
And you wouldn't have had to be drunk to see it.
No.
Right. High.
No. Or high. No, absolutely. Neither way. I mean, I'm trying to think what other movies did I see.
What'd you do this week, Jeff?
What did I do? Boy, I was busy this week.
You're on the Clubhouse.
Well, not just Clubhouse. I was just busy this week. Like, I had a presentation up, and I had a presentation for a group in Toastmasters on Wednesday night for an hour or so, and then I'm trying to think what else. I guess I better announce it now because really, in reality, by the time the next show we do, it'll have already happened because it'll release. The next show after that will release. So I'm doing a show on May 4th for May the 4th Be With You, called a storytelling show called Love and Star Wars, and I'm one of the feature storytellers.
Nice.
So that's going to happen May 4th on Star Wars Day, and based on the way that
you got that corner, Jeff. You're going to really do it good out there, man.
You know, it's really funny though because it's one of those where it's like, so what kind of story are you telling? I don't know. What's the title? I don't know. I haven't gotten that.
I'm sure you got plenty of stories to tell about the Star Wars RPG adventures.
You know, I thought about that, and at the same time, there's a part of me where I'm like, I could tell a story like that, but I feel like going a little deeper with it. And although it's funny because I have a feeling everybody's going to go that route.
Do it. Well, then do it. Do it, Jeff.
Well, no, that's fine, but I have a feeling like everybody's going to go like the deeper route, if you know what I mean, where it's like, this is, but we'll see. I'll play with it a little bit. I'm tempted to go with it. Here's my title I'm thinking about going with, which is I love Star Wars. I know.
Yeah.
As a playoff of my Han Solo.
Yes, I love you, I know, yeah, right.
Yeah, I love you, I know. So I was tempted to go with that as my title for my piece. So,
watching the moon come up. Wow, this is cool.
So yeah, there's that. So basically,
that's no moon.
Yeah, it's definitely no moon. It's probably not a moon. But yeah, so that's happening on the 4th, and based on the way we record and when we record and when the shows come out, yeah. So basically, there's that, and I'll put information on this first page about that too. Mm-hmm. And then what else do I have? I'm doing some other. Actually, by the time this comes out, yeah. So I'm doing another event this weekend. On Sunday morning, and then I have a contest on Sunday afternoon for a Toastmasters contest in the afternoon. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I'm a little busy, and then of course Sunday Night Stories is happening on Clubhouse, which happens Sunday night, 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, 7:30 Pacific time. And I never know what the fuck mountain is anymore. So whatever. Mountain
between Central and Pacific. Right?
Not always.
Oh.
Not always. Sometimes it turns into Pacific, and it's like I'm never sure where or how. So it's like okay, it's weird. But yeah, so
4 time zones that I know because I mean when I do my broadcast, on Twitch, it's always through my time, my Eastern time. Then there's the Mountain time. Then there's Pacific time. So it's always.
Dude, GMT, the GMT thing is the most fucked up thing on the planet Earth.
Yeah, I've never understood it.
Oh, I don't understand that shit at all. No, I don't get it.
Shit either. I got no fucking clue.
and the best is all those people from other parts of the world give you like the stink eye because you don't understand it because we're the dumb Americans. It's just like,
right.
Why don't you just make it simple?
We use miles and gallons. We don't use liters and kilometers.
Well, it's like
we don't say quid. We don't say quid and pounds and whatever.
No.
Well, no, I don't mean that. It's like GMT -6. Fuck, I didn't like math in high school. Now you want me to do math?
Get the fuck out of here! Foot equals 5 toes. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. No, so yeah. I'm trying to think. What else this week? So I did see Sound of Metal off of Amazon.
What is that?
And so Sound of Metal was one of the Academy Award nominees that was up for Academy Award this year. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's about a guy who is a drummer for a metal band who ends up starting to lose his hearing,
mm-hmm.
and then how he has to basically change a lot in his lifestyle, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it ends kind of how I put it. It kind of ends on a down note, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
And I was just kind of like, I mean, it's an interesting movie. It's actually, what am I saying? It's perfect for the Academy people who love that shit.
Oh, it's tragic. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Which I saw your article on Facebook.
What article?
About
what he posted or something?
Posted about the Academy Awards and the total fuckery that happened on the Academy Awards. That
I figure we get to that after we got done around talking to other people. That's on my list.
I won't spoil it now, but I also get.
Oh no, we're going there because we need to go there tonight.
I think we forgot to mention last week that the Oscars were this last week.
Well, that's because they're okay. No, we'll say it.
We all forgot.
We'll say no, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Oh, I forgot to mention that that it was going to air. I didn't know until Sunday afternoon.
Dude, do you want to hear how many?
I saw one advertising on it, and my understanding was that they were doing it in different places, and they were trying to.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get to it, Ivan.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Later.
We'll get to it.
So
I just want to kind of get through.
Sound of Metal was good then.
Sound of Metal, no, it's good. I mean, okay. Again, it's the kind of movie that if you're looking for one of those Academy Award type movies.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very good movie. I get it. At the same time, you really have to kind of be in the mood for that. Versus, I will say to you, a movie like The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Okay.
This was far more accessible and far more interesting to me. Now again, I'm biased because I love Aaron Sorkin.
Right.
But it would, to me, this is one of those where it's like, okay, you really kind of have to sit down and want to watch a movie, kind of one of those kind of movies. So to me, that's kind of how I felt about it. That's not to say it wasn't good. I don't know how to score it because it's like technically, oh yeah, it's a great movie. It's a phenomenal movie. I could give it 4 mans. But at the same time, from an entertainment perspective, I wasn't necessarily entertained. It's just a good movie. You know, it's kind of one of those. Let's see. I will say on the different note on Amazon, caught episode 7 of Invincible.
Oh, still good?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
What about that? Yeah. Highly endorsed?
Yeah, no. 7's really action packed, and we got one more this season, and if they can keep, I'm curious to see where this is all going to head, where they're going to leave it at the end of the season. But yeah, episode 7 is very, very interesting, and I'm trying to do this not as a non-spoiler thing for people, and I'm trying to keep it vague for a reason, which is there might be people who haven't seen it yet or haven't watched it yet. But they've done a really if either one of you guys get to it sometime soon, then we'll have a more in-depth conversation about it. But again, well drawn, well written, multiple plots upon top of a subplot and yet it doesn't feel like, how do I put this? It doesn't feel like filler. It feels like there's a reason and a rationale for everything to it versus some of the shows that you see out there when they're doing that, where they're getting complex like that, and it's like, oh, this is just filler that they're trying to give backstory, and it's like, no, this is going to go somewhere.
That is what you're saying. That it's not just fodder; it's got real meat on its bone.
Yeah, good storytelling.
It's good. It's solid storytelling.
Right.
You know, I mean, look, let's be honest. This is Kirkman's first major project with Amazon after he inked his big deal. You know, and they're not going to get anything they're not getting anything Walking Dead related because that's all AMC. So that's not happening. So this is really the first big Robert Kirkman project to hit Amazon and that big development deal. And
I know. Just to interject for a second, Jeff. When I saw the pictures of Invincible, it kind of gave me the textures of, say, Batman Beyond, or Batman, the earlier '90s Batman, Warner Brothers drawn motion pictures. They kind of gave me that aesthetic when I looked at some of the stills that I saw on Invincible. Do you agree? I mean, it's got that.
No, I wouldn't go. You know what the best way to put it is? Because it is an image book. It was an image book. It definitely has that feel of something you would see from Image Comics, if you understand what I mean in terms of art.
I do. I mean, I've read my fair share of Image. Yeah, I get you. All right.
Right. That's the best way to explain it.
Okay.
Is that it's without question you can tell that it's got that look and that feel to it, where it does look like something that you would see from somebody who had a book on Image.
Yeah. Okay.
At the same time, it's clearly not Jim Lee. It's clearly not J. Scott Campbell. It's clearly not it's clearly not a McFarlane thing or an Eric Larson thing.
It runs on its own merit, on its own design.
Right. I don't remember who the original artist was for Invincible or some of that run. My guess is they may have gone to that person. But it's really clear that Kirkman obviously had a big hand and what happened and how this got produced and whatnot. And I get why they may have made the decision to do this as animated rather than live action, because I think they're able to get away with and do more and be closer to the source material. And there are things that I hate to say it, the budget is easier to do with animated than to try to do it as a live action. So
that would be a great case, because when you're doing animation, there are no boundaries, to what you can do within the imagination, with, what you do in animation. Mm-hmm. Like when you start trying to try to do the same things in a real live movie, maybe some things are more attainable in the animation world than it is in the, in the world of real life production. So, and I guess you stretch the money further in the animation world to do more of the things that you would want to do, which would be,
I mean, like, for example,
you did it live action,
Like, for example, they do have a sequence where they do like an alien invasion. Okay, well, I know what that would cost. I mean, to make it look worthwhile in live action. Okay, look, we live in a day and age where we had, we saw what the CW looks like when they do stuff like that, and sometimes we're like, it's good enough.
Yeah, for a TV budget, it's good enough.
Right, and we kind of roll our eyes at that.
Yeah,
when we see something like, okay, Endgame, and you see like the masses, and you're like, that's what I'm fucking talking about. Mm-hmm. So I can't blame them.
Yeah, well, the animation, you can set the bar higher and not spend as much money, because you can set the bar higher in that respect. Whereas you try the live action movie, that's just going to make, you got to have more money to get the same results. And then, of course, you got to pay the actors, and you got to pay the millions of other people to make magic happen, and all that shit.
Well, and here's the interesting thing, too. At the same time, it's not like they skimped on the voice talent either.
Well,
they went out and they got, what's his name? The guy who plays J. Jonah Jameson.
It's J.K. Simmons, yeah.
J.K. Simmons.
And his mustache.
Right, and they got Sandra Oh to play the mom, and Zachary Quintino to play a role. I mean, they went out. They were willing to pay for high-end voice talent.
Mm-hmm.
So
they got the money to pay for the high-end talent.
Well, right, because it's Amazon. I mean, and quite frankly, again, this is Robert Kirkman's first major project with Amazon, and so they're going to want it to launch, and they're going to want it to do well. I'm curious what the numbers look like on this versus something like The Boys, where that's live action, and I think there's more people drawn to something like that because it's live action. To me, it's on. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm not seeing the kind of promotion for Invincible that I would see for like The Boys. And to me,
because it's not Iron Man, it's not Captain America.
Right. So
it might be something that's outside DC or Marvel.
Well, but The Boys is out. Hold on a second. But The Boys is outside of DC.
True, and that's getting good numbers.
Right. Well, and they advertised for that. They advertised for The Boys. They had TV ads and everything for when they brought back The Boys.
Well, maybe you're just eggshelling the situation promotion-wise to see if it stands up on its own. So that way, at least if Invincible stands up on its own without all the hype, air quotes, then maybe Amazon
with or without the air quotes.
Yeah.
Well,
in fairness, that might be some truth to that.
Put more into it maybe later on, and maybe a possible second season where it's like, oh, the first season kicked ass. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's go guns blazing.
And there might be something to that, because now that I'm thinking about it, they were heavily promoting season 2. They didn't heavily promote season 1. They promoted heavily after season 1 on season 2.
Because it had to prove its mettle. METTL.
Yeah, well, so again, but yeah, so that's, and those are the things I feel like I watched. In terms of network stuff, the only network stuff I'll mention, and then I'll get to you. I'll let you guys go and do your things. The only other things right now in terms of network TV stuff that I'm finding interesting is, Big Sky is some sort of special kind of crazy. That show is a special kind of crazy, and it's just weird and whacked out, and it's typical David Lynch kind of stuff. But it's in the middle of, like, I think it's like Montana or somewhere up that way, Big Sky Country, and it's only for
kind of feel.
How do I put this? It's only reminding me why I don't want to live in the middle of fucking nowhere. I mean, it's like reminding me where it's like, no, this is why I live in civilization. I want nothing to do with living in the middle of nowhere.
In the suburbs, yeah.
Yeah, no, you're in the suburbs. That's fine too. But like
when
these
you're
people
out
want
in
to
the
like
sticks,
live in the middle. Yeah, if these people want to live in like the beautiful country where there's like nobody around, nothing going on. Yeah, you know what goes around? Nothing. Cults, people killing people, all kinds of whacked out bullshit. Yeah, no, all kinds of weird stuff like meth farms and shit like that. No, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna stay right here. Then again, I said the same thing about Riverdale, too, which is like, nope, small town.
Why can't they have the country in the old days where they just made moonshine?
Yeah.
Trying to blow themselves up and teeth falling out from meth.
All I know is it's like, you know, there's... Yeah, but that show is watchable for all the wrong reasons, which is, it's like, how fucked up is this gonna be? It's a fun watch for what it is. And, so yeah, Big Sky's been fun. All American is still, to me, one of the better shows on TV, period, in terms of, and it's underrated, and it is available, the first 2 seasons are available on Netflix, and I'm not sure if that's going to stay on Netflix or not, or if at some point that's going to move over to HBO Max, but that show is really good, and it's pretty solid, and I enjoy it. I will admit it's a little bit teen drama, but it's a little bit higher brow than that. So I've enjoyed that. The other thing I've been surprised about is, so Manifest came back to NBC and they're on season 3. And I kind of was ready to throw it out the window because I was like, after season 2, I was like, no, I'm kind of done. But these first episodes have been intriguing and interesting enough that I think I'm back on board with Manifest. And I'm intrigued enough to see where this goes, although I'm still convinced, because these guys are the people who wrote Lost, I'm still convinced that the answer at the end is these people are all fucking dead. Okay? That basically in the end, it's like, okay, we're just going to take the same fucking template from Lost and do it again to these people and make people watch again. I'm still not convinced that that's...
Waiting for that shoe to drop, yeah.
Right. I you know, and here's the best way to put it. I'm waiting for the perfect time to leave this show. You know? Because there's certain shows where I'm like, you know, I wait for like them to jump the shark and be like, fuck this, I'm done. I'm not watching this shit no more. Okay? And they just do just enough where I'm like, okay, I'm in. I know that and the worst part is I'm waiting for it's like, they're never really going to tell you what exactly the answer is until all the way at the end. And then you know, one of two things is going to happen. Either it's going to get canceled, and so you're not going to really know the end, so you're going to be pissed. Or 2, we're going to come to the end and you're going to be like, either A, I fucking knew it, or that's the fucking ending? What kind of bullshit is this? You mean to tell me I wasted all this time on this shit? Let me tell you something. That, by the way, that is the answer why I have not watched Game of Thrones. It's because the way everybody acted at the end.
Yeah, a lot of people were not happy how it ended, yeah.
Right, but how it all went down, I'm like, well, if y'all ain't happy and you're telling me that in the end it wasn't very good how it ended, why am I going to spend like 8 seasons watching this show with no commercials? It's like an hour a piece, like, and there's multiple, how many episodes? Probably 13, 14. I don't know how many episodes are in a season. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of TV. Just like I left. The only thing I saw Lost was I saw a primer that kind of showed me everything that was the night of the finale. And I watched the finale, and I was like, I'm so glad I did not waste any time. This is a load of bullshit. And I remember a whole bunch of people who were like Lost fans all being pissed, going, can't believe I wasted all that time, man.
I remember when Breaking Bad ended, and they didn't tie up a lot of the loose ends. And that's not, but it did, people seem satisfied how it ended.
Right.
Well, you know, you got some cases where you could end something with a few loose ends, and it still is relevant viewing. But then you got situations where you're just like, the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, in Jeff's case, yeah.
Right. That's the people with the people who watch Lost. That's all. That's all I hear from people. Where it was like and even the people who like loved that show, loved it, are like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that was.
But
there's a couple shows like that where it's like at the end you're like, what? What did you do?
The fuck did I just watch?
You know what? It's funny. The original FX shows back in the day, some of them were really good, like The Shield or Nip Tuck, and then the endings were just kind of like meh. And you're like, really? I spent all that time and invested on these two shows, and in the end, the ending's kind of like meh. I was expecting either one of those shows to actually end up doing something else.
You know?
But, and it's too bad, because both those shows were good. I mean, what's her name? That one chick in there was just absolutely gorgeous. I can't remember her name. Carlson or some stuff like that. Blonde, amazing. Just, and they used to put her in the fucking tightest clothes or the smallest shit you've ever seen. Like, all the time. All the damn time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You have to have the cheesecake in the show, you know.
Well, and they pushed the. I mean, for Nip Tuck for regular cable, they pushed the envelope pretty damn fucking far on that show. So
it's Tuck, you know. So in of its own design, you know, that's what they were going with.
But yeah, I mean. Then just like The Shield, I mean, seriously, The Shield basically transformed Michael Chiklis's acting career. You know, at one point he was just the commish, and then he took the Vic Mackey role, and it was like, okay, serious actor, Michael Chiklis, got it. You know, and then
it was clobbering time.
Yeah, that's how he got that role, by the way.
Yeah, from The Shield, right.
Yeah, well. Let's not talk about that movie.
So, Ivan, how was your week?
Yeah.
Oh, my week's been really good. Just the usual weekend shenanigans at Spinning Wheel. You know, I did my set, and I also did a speech, you know, on behalf of all the VDJs in the world, and kind of spoke my piece. And in one fall swoop of breaking a record on screen, I must have either had people cheering or people swearing and probably dropping me like a stone in the numbers, which personally I don't care whatever the fuck, because, you know, just the whole argument about this, that, and every other thing, you know, the fucking politics about, you know, the whole, you know, musical situation, you know, in Britain and everything like that. And, you know, I come into the picture, you know, here's this Yankee, you know, coming in from America, and, you know, I'm playing their records, or, you know, again, quotes, I'm playing their records and everything, which came from us in the first place. But, you know, they claim them for themselves, but yet they know more about it than I'm allegedly supposed to know about. And I'm just sitting back thinking, really? Okay.
Well, you're there to quell the controversy and just bring entertainment, right? That's what you're trying to do, right?
I'm trying to do.
But you fanned the flames by breaking a record during the live stream?
Well, what I did was because what it was, I have a friend, good friend. Her name is Natalie Harrison. Okay. And, you know, she does a thing called the Wide Awake Club. I mean, this is, you know, like all the VDJs in the world, you know, who just take the time out of their busy days, out of their lives to go ahead and, you know, and guess what? Nobody's perfect. You know what? You know, you got a lot of these people that have never seen the inside of a club or a dance floor and everything, and they're trying to entertain the lonely, the downtrodden, the people that, you know, don't have access to anything in this pandemic and everything. They're all just trying to show all of these people a good time, but yet you got the elitists and the snobs and shit, you know, poo-pooing all over the, you know, the VDJs because, they're not playing real records. They're not playing original vinyl. They're not professional. They do goofy things. They're not playing Northern Soul. They're not playing this and that. And I'm just like, I fucking got fed up because what happened was a neighboring page decided they were going to cut in the middle of Natalie Harrison's show, which is a total fucking no-no. All right. And, and she was, and it devastated her. So also, and she put a post on Facebook stating that, sometimes you just have to know when to quit. And I'm sorry, I just wasn't going to take that line down. Okay, so I went ahead, Julie actually suggested that I call Natalie. And here it is. It's 9 o'clock my time. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning, in England. But she was awake. And I told her and I gave her the what for and and we had the big talk and everything. Don't let people get you down, don't let people steal your shine, on and on and on. And, the fact that the following morning when she did her Wide Awake show and I watched her and rejuvenated with hope and rejuvenated with the spark and the fire, and she's just dropping, banger after banger after banger record. And I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, No. I'm talking about, I know.
Oh, sorry. I got hungry. My bad.
That's cute. But the thing about it is that she's playing all these records and everything, and she's just this talented individual. And you got these people that have no regard for these people doing this effort, without being paid, volunteering like I do. I volunteer my time. I don't get paid for my time. I do it because I love to do it. I'm a DJ. It's what I do. It's my life. Music is my thing. So guess what? I'm gonna, call Rise to Arms, to all the video disc jockeys in the world. And I figured I'd give them a voice for 31 minutes on a speech I gave.
Put on your Mel Gibson wig.
31 minutes. Wow.
Well, but the thing was, I spoke from my heart because my heart speaks its own truth. And I looked directly into the camera, and I think the most profound moment in that whole thing was, what? I think, I did something to the effect. I can't do it verbatim because, when it happened, I had to watch it again to remember what I even said. That's how
31 minutes.
You were in another state of mind, or is there?
I was in another state of mind. Okay, and so here it is. I go ahead and I said, you know what I think of your elitist? You know what I think of your original vinyl only? You know what I think about your boots? You know what I think of? And I took and I snapped that record on the screen into little itty bitty pieces. I said, this is what I think of your stuff. Pop, 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 break, 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 throw. And you know what?
Wait, you didn't break an original vinyl record, did you?
I sure did.
Well, I hope it wasn't valuable.
Yeah, I was about to say, I hope it wasn't a valuable one, right? Or you had a second or third one or that one?
Not at all, man. So anyway, all I know is I did that, and I said what I said, and I got off, and I'm thinking I just created a firestorm because I know I was waiting for the comments to come back and be like, who the fuck do you think you are, telling us elitists and all of us professionals and blah, 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 blah. Instead, it was totally a different response from everybody who said, you gave a voice for those of us who felt the same way. And it was just like, bravo. I was proud of that shit.
Oh, good. That's great, man.
And so I did that. That was one of the highlights of this week. And then, of course, as far as the rest of the week, had
Ivan, you're in the mud.
You're cutting in and out, man.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
can you hear me now?
Yep.
You're better.
Can you hear me now? Okay, anyway. So what happened in this case, the point, besides doing the music and everything, which of course now I'm going to get to tell you guys that as of today, I just signed 2 of the 3 signatures for my housing choice voucher. I am moving out of here.
Good.
Okay.
I am moving out of this apartment building. My voucher is good for 120 days. So guess what? Jivin Ivan over here is going to look for some new digs, get a new scene going on, and I'm pulling up stakes, boys. Pulling up stakes from this building. I mean, 5 years, and unfortunately, within that 5 years, it went downhill. And now, we get a letter in the mail saying, well, your public choice voucher is being now changed over to a housing choice voucher. See, when you got a public choice voucher, you can only go to another building that honors that particular voucher. But now I'm getting a housing choice voucher, which means I can move anywhere I want.
Oh, good. That's great.
That meets up with the standards. So I'm thrilled.
How soon do you think you're going to move?
Well, the suburbs better watch out.
Well, put it this way: I'm looking to be in New Date by August.
Okay, great.
And here's the other good thing too. Besides,
he's going to move right next to Max's Deli, isn't he?
Oh, I know. That'd be good, but then I'd never get out the door again. But anyway,
I didn't say in Max's Deli. I said next door to Max's Deli. There's a little bit of a difference. I don't think they let you stay in Max's Deli. Not only they let you stay in Max's Deli, you probably eat more product than they may have.
They don't have enough corned beef to not let me go into Max's Deli, man. Let me tell you. But here's the other part of it too. Okay, the fact that I'm getting away, as of next week, which Julie and I were going to Galena for a week in May. Yay! I'm looking forward to the vacation time. As of this recording, probably won't be out on Wednesday, and of course the moment's going to happen on Tuesday. Going to be doing my last Tuesday night experience on the spinning wheel. Wednesday, I'm doing my very last Temple House, and then on Friday, I'm doing my last Motown train for the spinning wheel. So I'm doing the last three events of the week following, of this week following, and then as of May 2nd, we'll be on the road to Galena for a week to frolic in the swimming pool and take good rest and check out the splendors that is Galena. Looking forward to it. We'll be gone for 4 days, and it's going to be nice. It's a step. It's a step because it's just me and Jules and everything, and I'm just, I'm a little anxious. I'm a little anxious about that because, again, it's being around other things. But, of course, I've had both my shots. And by the time May rolls around, I think my incubation period is going to be complete. So that way, I won't change it to
Galena the Alpine slide? Is that in Galena? Is that what that is?
Galena, the Alpine slide?
Yeah, that thing where it's like a scooter and it's like kind of like a mix between like a scooter thing and it's like a mix between like those. Those cars on the track mixed with kind of like a roller coaster kind of thing.
I don't know. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to look into that. But no, it's good. It's Galena. So basically, it's basically a place where a lot of time has.
You should find some good records up that way.
Well, maybe. Yeah, I think I might. Not to mention the quaint little shops. And then, of course, a lot of the area hasn't changed in over 100 years, so there's a lot of really architecture. And, of course, it's by the Mississippi River, so there's a lot of knolls that you can sit and have lunch, go by the river, check it out, They got bus tours, which we're going to probably take a bus tour there. This will be my third trip to Galena. I gotta... but it's been years, so I know a lot has changed since the last time I was there. But I'm just, like I said, it's just a getting away from it all here in the city, and and of course spending some time with Julie because also too.
Ivan, it doesn't open until Memorial Day.
Yeah, okay, well that's fine.
It doesn't open until Memorial Day. Race down a 2,050 feet of tailored track of sled to the banks of the Mississippi on the ride of your life.
Oh, that sounds fucking cool. Would you do that? Would you guys do that?
I did it as a kid. Like, we went on, like, the Galena trip back when I was, like, a kid. Because, like, although is that where House on the Rock is, too?
In Galena? No, I think that's by Janesville. That's from Janesville. That's more closer.
Is that really in Wisconsin? Why did I think it was?
Yeah, that's Wisconsin. Yeah, yeah, that's by Janesville. Yeah, because I remember I remember going to House on the Rock. We went and we stayed at the Americana there. Yeah, that was in Janesville. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's in Wisconsin. But
I still remember going on a trip where it was like Galena,
no,
and then
that's
like
up by
the House on the
Dodgeville.
Rock.
That's west of Madison. That's not Janesville.
Is it? No. Yeah.
Oh,
The House on the Rock is not in Janesville.
No, I thought it was in. I thought it was in. I thought it was in Illinois.
To get there.
No, it's in Wisconsin. The House on the Rock is in Wisconsin.
Is it? Okay, huh?
It's west of Madison.
Okay.
Well, all right. Well, then, like I said, because I remember a sign saying Janesville. That's why I gravitated toward. But anyway, or is that where the Crystal Caves are at? The Blue Crystal Caves.
Those caves aren't those in Kentucky? I don't know.
No,
I've done any research
what
on
is
my
it, Mammoth Cave or something like that? That's Kentucky,
There's a big cave that you could go in, and they got stalactites and stalagmites. They have
I think that's Kentucky, dude. I could be wrong. Maybe it's in Illinois. I don't think so. I think that's Kentucky.
No, it is in Illinois. I remember going to it. It is in Illinois.
I don't know.
It's scary, man.
It is. So
just do yourself a favor. If you're going to go on the riverboat, like while you're there, like don't stuff yourself full of food and then go on the riverboat. Cause
I do pretty good. I do pretty good with boats.
That boat was. I'm usually okay with boats. That boat, not so good. I just remember that one.
So that being said, just trying to get a little time in with Julie and everything, because then later in the month, she's going to be going to Indianapolis, and she's going to be getting checked out for some physical sensibilities that she needs to get checked into and stuff, and they're going to see if she's going to be prepped, whether or not she's going to be prepped for surgery. So it's just a matter of just.
Where's this, Indianapolis or Minneapolis? Did you say?
Indianapolis.
Oh, well, dude, if she doesn't come back if she doesn't come back to you with stuff from Shapiro's Deli and Bakery and cafeteria, you need to disown that woman.
Go ahead.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding when I say that.
I believe you. You have to text that to me so that way when she does go down there, I know.
Shapiro's. Look, when I lived down that way, look, Sunday morning, and let me preface this because we're talking the 90s. Sunday morning was drive down to Shapiro's, pick up some lox and bagels, pick up a piece of cheesecake, and like the biggest, most crunchiest potato pancake I could find. Then find a parking lot where I could find the right angle to get the radio station so I could listen to the Bears game because I couldn't fucking watch it in Indianapolis at the time. Okay,
that's funny.
Because at the time the Bears were still kind of good. Okay, It was sort of at that time when the Bears kind of started to suck, and it was funny because it was like, hey, you know what, Colts get. And the other thing was, here's the crazy part. Colts were doing so bad, like, by halftime, you could, like, walk into the RCA Dome and, like, walk into the upper deck and sit down and watch the game for free. I mean, like, nobody was paying attention.
They just opened the doors?
Yeah, because keep in mind, it's connected to, like, a lot of stuff down that way. So if you're, like, walking around, you're hanging around down there, you could literally sneak in and, like, watch Colt games. Like, by that point, they were usually getting killed, but you're in the upper deck, too. Like, nobody's there. They were so bad, nobody cared, But slowly but surely, they started to get better. And, by the way, that's also when I found out figured out that outdoor football is bullshit. In the cold. Outdoor football in the cold is bullshit. but that's a different story.
Okay,
but
so being that's where Jules is going to be doing. That's why I took all this time off.
That's where you should. Yeah, honestly, that's where you should go. Forget Galena. Go down to Indy.
Well, it's because Jules hasn't been to Galena, so it's like you want to check that out. I mean, because Julie is from Indiana, so he's with that whole scene. So,
but yeah, I mean, Indianapolis is a lot of people call it Indianapolis, but there is some nice stuff. Like I think is it the Superhero Museum that's down that way? I think so. And then the Children's Museum is great. The Adel Jorg Museum of natural history or Native American history, I think it is really, really pretty cool too. And there's some the mall down there is phenomenal.
So there are of interest there. Great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and like I said, Shapiro, again, I haven't been down there in a long time. I haven't lived there for a long period of time. But Shapiro's Deli in the city is phenomenal. St. Elmo's has been there forever, and all the pros eat. Like that's like the steakhouse, like the independent steakhouse. Like is St. Elmo's. That's good. I'm trying to think anything else.
I might end up just going with Julie when she goes to visit her daughter, because her daughter just recently moved there. So it's going to be. Maybe I should just go ahead and just hijack. The two of us all down there and just kind of hang out. Hey, Jules, how about Shapiro's? Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah, she's gonna look at you and go like, "Where did you get all this information?" There's a place I can't remember the first name of it. Oh, Rick's. Rick's Cafe at the Boatyard is also really pretty cool, too. And especially in the summertime, that's a really nice place, but that's up north. Right, and then, what else? Well, the problem is you're going with them. There are other places I can name you that you can
no.
Right.
Because I'll tell you right now, there are more strip clubs per capita in Indy than there are in Chicago, and you can have a lot more fun.
Why do I not think that would be true? But
well, my favorite part of it is that's the part I was used to laugh about we close up on Sunday and we won't have alcohol and we're all about thumping the Bibles because it feels kind of Bible belty. And one of the things I find funniest is you're all sort of kind of Bible belty. In the meantime, it's like y'all have more strip clubs than we do in Chicago, and it's like freaking depravity goes on in these things. It's like great.
Yeah, they're all pent up.
You remember? I mean, I lived in Cherville for 5 or 6 months, and that was a Twilight Zone episode waiting to happen. Let me tell you.
Well, here's the weird part. Here's the weird part. Like you'd think, okay, Indiana, it's like the women would be like, maybe, kind of like, all right, whatever. No, they had some like women that like. Even in clubs in Chicago, you'd be like, wow, damn, holy cow. And in some ways, some of those clubs down there were better than the ones in Chicago, and they were making money hand over fist in the mid-'90s down that way. I mean, they were just making money. Like they were printing it. And it wasn't expensive down there either, like the Chicago clubs where it's like, fucking hey, it's so fucking expensive up here.
But so with that in mind, man, the rest of everything that going on, doing the vacation thing, doing the move thing, and everything going on, and also Julie kind of put it to me tonight. She goes, "Well, if businesses start to open, do you think you'll be going back out to doing clubs again?" And I am kind of
you're immune. What are you afraid of?
Well, no, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm tired.
I mean, none of us are getting any younger. That's sure.
Yeah, I'm tired. And the thing is, you know what? I've been on most every other week since the pandemic started, And I think, being in front of the camera and everything, as much as I loved it, as much as I love playing and everything, and then of course I'm taking this break. And that's why when I originally put my post up that I might be back in June or July, basically that was just kind of like me saying, well, I may come back, I may not. It all depends.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and who knows, you might miss it.
I might miss it, but right now I'm excited about the move. I'm excited about the new digs. The fact that that girl Natalie, like I had mentioned earlier, she's thinking of coming here with her friend from England, and she wants to see Chicago, and it's going to be nice because then once that happens next year for her, because now she's saving up her money and everything, and she wants to come here in 2022. At least by that time, we'll have a beautiful new place. It won't look like a warehouse. It'll be nice. It's going to be cool. I'll be able to host things. I mean, I'll have you guys come up, spend the weekend with us and stuff like that. I'll be able to do stuff like that, and just change things, change the whole structure of what, I like to do, because me, I love to host parties. I love to do get-togethers and things like that. I think, also too, the pandemic has kind of changed the dynamic for the disc jockeys now, because of the fact that, well, one, a lot of places don't have money to pay for disc jockeys, really in the realistic sense of the word. And okay, and I think I'm going to be gravitating more towards the big money sensibilities, like say the Stern Pinball, which is coming up in October, and I'll be looking forward to that, because not only do I love doing the Stern Pinball Expo, it's big money, and it's just like when I work with the Stern Pinball, downtown and everything, and I worked with that whole thing, and I just, for me, to be out from 10 at night to 2 in the morning on $50, it's kind of like, yeah, or $100. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm not getting any younger. And, I think I might be putting my satchel down and just kind of being more of a homebody, and then just kind of concentrate on other things, because once everybody's back out again, I don't see the VDJ being as relevant later on as it is now. I mean, the VDJ, is relevant now because we are still, got the pandemic numbers. But now that'll probably segue into people who are not able to get out or able to go to clubs and things like that. And I might work the activities towards, okay, maybe, if Logan Arcade sponsors me and stuff like that, I might return to just, a few hours on a Sunday once a month and things like that. But, I don't think I'm going to go back to the weekly grind of residency, or the monthly grinds of residency. I think I've kind of come to that point where I'm like, I did what I could do, and I loved it. I loved all the people I've met through the pandemic. If it's got one positive takeaway, the fact that me being a VDJ, going out there and performing, I met so many wonderful people over the internet over all this time, and all the people doing startup pages and sharing the music and sharing the camaraderie. I've had people who have called me through my messenger that I've called on Messenger and I've talked to, and everybody was just so friendly and wonderful and such. So if it had one takeaway, it kind of brought the whole music community together in a way that if the pandemic didn't happen, I probably would have never met these people. I probably would have never experienced these experiences and things. I guess that's the silver lining out of this whole thing. If you have a silver lining in the whole thing in this terrible, terrible time. But at least I can say, yeah, 30, 40, 50 years from now, when, Jivin' Ivan is no longer relevant in life, somebody will go on the internet and they'll say, geez, this is what these cats did during the pandemic, and they made it work. So, just like us, people, years from now they'll listen to our shows and everything, and especially, through the pandemic time, and our statements, our feelings, our sensibilities, are there to be heard for the ages, which, we made some history, and that's kind of exciting, to have done that, it's a good thing, that we all got to be entertainers and we all got to be, the kings of our little castles for a while and queens of our castles for a little while. And so, with that, I think I'm just looking more towards, trying to do more, to other things. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a lot less spinning, and I might get back to drawing a little bit more. I might get back to doing stories, and writing.
And there's still, you can always put the set list up on SoundCloud.
And then exactly, just like I did with the old jukebox thing I just released recently, which that was Jive Ivan in the depth in the deepfulness of the pandemic, in a smoky haze, and I'm sitting here imagining myself in an old juke joint, and I'm pretending to be this old jukebox, and I'm playing this music that would have came out of this old jukebox in this old juke joint, and the imagination that went around with that.
And that's then you said that's on the SoundCloud, or
the one thing I would say.
Wow, yes, you should check it out.
The one thing I would say is don't sell short. There's a lot of people right now who are like, okay, things are going to go back to everything's face-to-face and live. And I don't know if that's fully going to be the case. I think there's still going to be a place. And there's nothing that says, Ivan, that you can't be doing a set live somewhere and then live streaming it, for England or something like that either.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I do go live someplace, and I go to Twitch and I broadcast it on Twitch, but the only thing with the Twitch situation that nobody's really kind of warmed up to it, because of the fact that people, especially, and I'll be the one to first say, people my age, who are not used to change, who want to go, because you go to Facebook, you go on Facebook, you got your emojis, you got your typing, blah blah blah. You got those same people who don't want to go to Google and then Google a link and then go to the page and then sign up to the page and then put the app in their phone or in their whatever.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I laugh because there is an answer to this. But really, you just need to borrow Soraya's iPad.
Oh, no. I mean, for me...
There's an answer to this, because I think Clubhouse is... it's going to be interesting, and I'll just leave it this on Clubhouse, because I know I talk about it a ton. And we've talked about it a couple times on the show, so I want to keep it short, which is, if Clubhouse makes sure that they beat everybody else to basically getting Android users, then I think that's an opening for this kind of stuff, and it'll be interesting. But
I'd be happy to do it if Clubhouse made it. If Clubhouse jumped over the Android fence and came in my backyard, I'd be just like, hell yeah, I'd be all about it. And then you know what? Not even stats, but just general talk.
Just give you a perspective. Like one of the things before I got in we recorded tonight. So the NFL is now on Clubhouse, and they're doing, like tonight, they did like a live mock draft where they were going to bring people in the room up to pretend to be their teams. And they brought in like professional football players and like ESPN guys, and and all these types of people. I mean, they had like 1,000 people in that room. And
in that respect, yes, that would be something I would definitely foster. I really would. Would.
Ivan's going to join the NFL draft?
No, I'm going to.
He's going to be a fuckback.
I'm going to give up DJ and be a linebacker.
Fantasy football, yeah, man.
Yeah.
But that being said, it comes down to this too, that Like it says, yeah, I've had my times, and everything.
I really want to see Ivan on a riding mower, don't you, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
On a riding mower?
Yeah. I want to see Ivan with a house. This could be interesting.
Ivan with a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ivan's going to have to learn to do some things that Ivan isn't used to doing because now suddenly he has to do them.
Well, but to me that's not true though, Jeff. Because when I was working in Deerfield, I did the landscape.
Doing all kinds of house.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
Ivan was Bob Vila running around.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. There's a part of me where I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, it's like, Ivan doing landscaping, Ivan having to clean the snow, Ivan having to do all kinds of shit like
home
that.
electrical.
And yeah,
I did all that shit for 10 years, man. I mean,
I forgot you did that. You had that stretch where you did that for 10 years. Because there's a part of me where all I can imagine is Puerto Rican Tim the Toolman Taylor is all I can imagine. Is what you think of that.
Go ahead. Hey guys, I just have my own podcast.
That's all right. I'm going to see my aunt.
Hey guys, enjoy yourselves, huh? All right.
So yeah, guest stars.
Oh yeah, we sure do. So the point of the matter is, man, it's just when you come down to that, yeah, I did that for the 10-year stretch and everything. So I'm just so doing electrical and plumbing and all that shit. But now, it's just I'm at this point in my life where, I don't know if I want to deal with a house anyway.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of people with houses.
Speaking of people with houses, okay, well, we'll give it to Mr. Mike. How was your week?
I got old.
Happy birthday to you.
Don't. Yeah.
I did sing for you, though.
Yeah, thank you. I did cut the grass with my new lawnmower the other day. Hooray. That was fun.
It's not the sitting kind, though, is it?
No, it's not a riding mower. Why would anyone do drugs when they can just mow a lawn?
I'd rather do drugs. Because it was a number divisible by 5, so it makes it important because no one gives a shit about your 49th birthday, but when you turn 50, it's a deal. It's a milestone, and I'm not feeling it yet. I'm not feeling it yet, so I don't feel old yet. When they celebrated my 55th birthday, and I was over at the arcade when they did the 55th birthday and shit. It was just I had the cake and I had the singer and I had all this stuff going on. It was great,
No, you don't say.
Yeah, I don't know. So did you get the ARP card?
No, I did not get my ARP card yet. I haven't got I still have my temporary license. I've got my regular license yet either, though. I'm sorry, Ivan, what? What was that, Ivan?
I said you didn't get your AARP card?
Yeah, that's what Jeff asked me. No, I didn't get that yet.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it was a good day. I took the day off because I didn't want to work.
That's the only good thing, Mike. Now that movies are coming back, it's now you can sit there and go, senior, please.
Senior discount.
Yeah.
But went to the Kane County Toy Show yesterday in beautiful St. Charles, and that was fun. Had a good time. It was crowded. It wasn't outdoor. Some of the pavilions were outdoors, but some of them, like I said, there wasn't a lot of. About 95% of the people were wearing masks, and it wasn't like social distance like it was in October. Because obviously last April the one was canceled because of the Rona. It hit, and we were in super lockdown by then. But they had the one in October, and it was more spread out, and less people were there. But this one, the weather was nice, and people were itching to get out, and yeah, everyone was out. But there were a few deals to be had, but a lot of people had prices were kind of crazy. The one guy had a USS Flag, which is the G.I. Joe playset. The biggest, actually, it holds the record for the largest action figure playset of all time. It's like 7 feet long. It's the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. And the guy had one sealed for like $4,500. So, and no, I didn't bring it home.
No. No.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. I didn't
Go ahead.
I didn't remember that they even had one. Wow.
Yeah, they had like a space shuttle. I think they've had like different kinds of headquarters. The round one you see all the time is the Technodrome, or the one that's like the G.I. Joe headquarters, which pretty much is like the big wall with the fortress thing. But anyway, it was fun. It was good to see lots of vintage Star Wars, lots of Funko Pops, those little bobblehead looking things with those black soulless eyes. Those are in everywhere. That's Funko. They got it smart, man, with all the licensing. I mean, there's a Funko Pop for almost everything.
Did you see? Speaking of Funko Pop, did you see the new Funko Pops that they're coming out with now? These little llamas that you can change their heads and their tails and all their other accessories.
No, I might have. I mean, I saw about 1 billion Funko Pops at this show.
Yeah,
and it's like, I have no rhyme or reason to it. I have no knowledge of this. Like, one of them's $10, the other one's $100. I don't know why.
Well,
it's totally foreign to me.
There's a new what the hell? There's a new Beanie Baby. Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah, I own exactly one because it was a Christmas present. So.
Yeah, I think I have an Ant-Man one that somebody gave me.
I don't know any of them because
I don't even know where it is. I'd have to figure it out. It might be in my car.
No, I don't got one because they're too weird.
Those, like I said, they're like a bobblehead, but they don't bobble. But anyway, so yeah, it was fun. I had a good time. Got a couple things. Saw some friends. Saw some familiar faces from past shows. But I've been going to this for almost 20 years, and it's still a big thing. People come from all around, and there's people on their Chicago Toy Show Facebook group saying, like, "Oh yeah, I'm in Canada or whatever, and we're totally locked down. So you guys have a good time. I wish I could go to these shows again." Some people like can't go, and they're looking forward to the days where we can go back, open back up, and we can go around. But at least, like I said, and everyone is social distance. Lots of families. Everyone was out and about. It's like coming back home through Randall Road, and everyone was out and about yesterday. It was such a beautiful weekend. So, but then it came back, and we had a little dinner with a couple of family members. We had some cake and for my birthday, and had a really nice week.
Yeah, I saw the pictures, man. Like, that's some pie you had there.
Yeah, I drove out to Giorgio's in Crystal Lake, and I got deep dish, Chicago style deep dish for my dinner. Yeah, it was good.
It was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was good. So yeah, been good. I watched I had a little bit of time, although I don't watch much television, not nearly as much as Jeff, but I did watch the Superman Shazam Return of Black Adam animated feature from like 2010.
Okay.
It's short. It's only like 25 minutes or 30 minutes or so. But one thing I didn't know was that was James Garner's last performance. He was the voice of the Wizard Shazam.
Oh wow.
So, that's cool.
But it was good, It's like, and of course they got back. What's his name? What's the name of the dude? George Newborn as the voice of Superman from the Bruce Timm, Justice League cartoon. Mm-hmm. So they got him back in him as his voice of Superman. And it was, it's concise. Like I said, it's only a half hour, and it was fun little entertainment. Watch pow bam, superheroes beat each other up. So. But that was fun. But I know I still got to watch that last episode of Young Rock. But no, I haven't done much else. Just been, like I said, just a few days of relaxation and introspection.
That's getting better, by the way.
Yeah? Oh, is it?
That's getting better. Those episodes are getting a little bit better as they start to go along, as it gets later in the season. Early on, it was clunky. But it seems to have found a level up where I mean, I can't speak for me. Like, some of the early episodes, I was just like, this isn't exactly funny. I mean, there are moments that it's funny, and for all the wrong reasons. Most of them have to do with the fact that it's like, I know who some of these people are in real life, so it's funny to see them as caricatured. But, yeah, the last few have been better. The last few have been a lot better. And it's a decent watch.
I agree, yeah. I got to finish that. I got to get caught up on that. But yeah, I had a good week, so can't complain. Not feeling, age. They say age is just a number. You're right. And I've had people. I know people who have when they hit the big 40 or they hit the big 50. They They change. They change. It affects them emotionally. But fortunately, it hasn't hit me yet. So.
You know what? I mean, when I turned 60. The only thing that just changed for me was just a number. But, I'm still the same guy. Just the only other thing besides the number changing, just my metabolism and, of course, my general health. I'm not as fast as I was. I'm not as draft as I was. I'm not as athletic as I was. And I do find opening jars of things just a little harder than they used to be. But for the most of it, not too much, and it's just, if it wasn't for my health matters to remind me of my age, I probably wouldn't think about it. So I just kind of put it into that.
Here's the real test, Ivan. Do you have a predilection for Matlock?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a predilection for Matlock? Do you feel like the need to watch Matlock or Walker
or play bingo
original, or watch the original Walker Texas Ranger?
Okay, well, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, no, I don't have the compunction to go ahead and go play bingo or watch it. But I have watched a few episodes of Walker Texas Ranger. Okay.
Hold on, I got to take care of something. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Oh, no.
I think the cat's coughing up a hairball. Hold on a second.
Oh, hairball. Nah. Yeah, no.
Speaking of, and of course, going on the subject of movies, since we're rounding the corner there, I did get to see some really great trailers in the last day or so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the new trailer for Steven Spielberg's West Side Story?
I have not seen that yet.
I have.
Okay.
And here's. I mean, they don't give you a lot to go on.
Okay, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they don't give you a lot to go on. They tease you, literally tease you with bits and pieces. But the scenes they do show you, okay. I mean, I've listened to the recording of the original play, with Cheetah Rivera, in Rita Moreno's role that she did in the movie, and with the Natalie Wood and seeing the original letter. Now, here's my thought on that. Okay, it looks good. It looks good. Whoever did their research did good by it. All right, and it does have the feel.
Yeah, and they're setting the mood with the visuals.
With the visuals,
the stills, from the trailer. Yeah.
And, okay, as far as the few notes that I heard of the singing, okay, it's not quite theater-like. It's not quite as pseudo-operatic as the original West Side Story was in 1961. And, and if you ever heard the recording of West Side Story from the late 1950s, because
well, obviously, if anybody's ever seen the movie, you've seen it.
Yeah, if you've listened to the recording from the late 1950s, where if you listen to the difference between that and then watching the movie, you're thinking, man, they really took a big chunk of pieces out of the stage play, adapted to the motion picture. And then some of the lines in the songs were actually changed and kind of softened up. It was more edgy and hard when it was when it was on Broadway. And so my point I'm taking is that I'm thinking, I hope that in a way they might kind of correct a few things that were featured in the 1961 film, because, what do
you think needs corrected?
Well, first off, when they did the dance sequences in the 1961 film, okay, the Puerto Ricans, they danced like Mexicans, okay? They did not
well, but it's the 50s. I mean,
but wait a minute. Okay, but let me finish my point. The thing is, yes, you're talking about the 50s. Well, you remember the Puerto Rican migration of the 1950s, okay, was thick.
Wait, stop. You think Mike and I remember the 1950s Puerto Rican migration?
Negative.
No.
Let me finish my point. My point is,
okay.
Your point.
Okay, my point is, yes, in the 1950s, the migration to New York, driven by the Puerto Ricans looking to get a better life, getting off the island, and doing such. My own mother and father were part of that migration, but they came to Chicago instead of New York.
Mm-hmm.
And with them, they brought their mambo, their samba, their rumba, and stuff, but none of that was featured in the motion picture with Russ Tamlin and Natalie Wood, okay? So basically, the dances that they featured in the motion picture to the Puerto Rican aesthetics are incorrect. So I'm thinking, without having seen the Steven Spielberg yet, which I can't wait to see it because it's coming out in December, so that's going to be a great, maybe first time out into a real theater that I'm going to actually want to see this thing. And I'm just thinking, I wonder what Steven Spielberg is going to do. Is he going to try to work the Hispanica of the characterizations of Puerto Ricans in the movie a little bit to make them more Puerto Rican?
Well, hold a second. If they don't, he's gonna absolutely.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go for authenticity.
Right.
No.
So that's right. That's what I'm going after here. So I'm hoping that they're gonna take the Mexican flourishes that were totally in the 1961. Sorry, hold on.
I'm sorry.
We're losing you.
Ivan, you're falling out.
I'm sorry. That's because somebody tried calling me through here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, I'm hoping that Spielberg will just go ahead and bring out, what the true Puerto Rican sensibilities in the motion picture that the original kind of lacked in that department. I mean, I know they were going for big dance scenes and big score and Leonard Bernstein. And all that, and I get it.
You're talking about 50s. I mean, you're talking about Broadway in its heyday,
right,
and we're talking about the musical. We're talking about musical movies in their heyday of the 50s. I'm not shocked by anything you said based on a whole lot of stuff, and I'm not shocked, by the way, that it. How can I say it wasn't Puerto Rican? It was Mexican because.
It was very Mexican because of the fact
that. No, come on. You know exactly what certain people were thinking at that point. Probably Puerto Rican, Mexican. What the hell's the real difference? And I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying people were saying it.
Yeah, I'm saying it's probably some producers said it was close enough.
Yeah.
Well, they just figured. All right, we're going to try to get it as close to what we could do with what we could do with it.
Oh, you think you think it was that? You think they were actually trying?
No, of course not.
No.
Of course not. I mean, they never do. I mean, the
now they will.
Well, now they will. But the Hollywood treatment back
cultural
then,
appropriation, yeah.
Yeah, they
sensibility. Now, it's probably going to be a big challenge for Steven Spielberg because, how do you take something that is part of the gray matter of a lot of people who have watched the movie for years and years and years and update it without taking anything away from it? That's a big.
Hold on a second. It's not even just movies, Ivan. Think about how many community theaters. How many theaters around the globe? I mean, actual theaters like play theaters, even high schools do West Side Story. We're talking about the possibility of, first of all, you're going to have to make sure it's culturally appropriate. Now you're talking about the fact that you're talking about, it's one thing when you're doing it as a high school play as a musical as a play, and you can get away with, well, it was back in the 50s, so we're going to kind of do it as the play is supposed to be done. You don't see the modernization. We're talking about modernizing West Side Story for 2021 sensibilities. Yeah, right. This isn't exactly. I mean, look, this is the kind of thing where it's like, honestly, there are a very few small number of people who are in Hollywood that, quite frankly, I would want involved in a project like this. And frankly, I'm not sure that Steven Spielberg was one of the names I'd put at the top of that list.
Well, no, as far as that shocked me. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
We know his attention to DD.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But this is that I'm aware of. No. Spielberg's never done a musical.
So this is what's going to make it interesting. Number one, like I said, Spielberg. I mean, he's done animation. He's done his share of movies. He's a name. He's a name producer. He's a name director. Okay, so for him to go ahead into the arena, the musical arena,
and he can do whatever he wants at this point.
Right, but at the same time, going into the arena of music, and especially something as tremendous as West Side Story,
I'm sure it's a big challenge.
That's going to be a huge challenge. That's going to be a big.
I'll take it a step further. As much as we talk about E.T. and Schindler's List and all the movies that Spielberg has ever done, and usually at the top of the list you put something like Schindler's List or E.T. or something like that. Maybe Jurassic Park, although really, not really. I mean, it's a big deal, and the franchise is huge.
Then in the animation world, he did the Animaniacs.
Right, but the point being, where I'm going with this is,
and all of those things that were big.
but Ivan, the point I'm getting towards here is, if he nails this, this is the crown jewel in his career. I mean, it really is.
Well, yeah.
This is it. I mean, and conversely, if this goes badly,
this could destroy his career.
Well, I wouldn't say destroy, but it certainly does.
He might have to retire after this.
No, he's not going to have to retire. I mean, look. I mean, let's be honest. It's not like he's still hurting from a hook, which a lot of people thought should have been a lot better than that. So, and given the cast, didn't exactly live up to the hype.
Right.
That's one of Spielberg's few bombs. And it's not like that really ever really truly hurt him. But at the same time, it's the part where it's like, this really could be like the movie that, like, people, like, for a long time, people have said, oh, that's Schindler's List. If he gets this right, it's not Schindler's List anymore. It's West Side Story.
Right. See, so, he's actually taking on something that, unbeknownst to maybe all of us, is something that, has he ever done a musical before?
That's what I said. I don't think he has. I can't think of. Well, I mean, the closest thing would be, the closest thing, ironically, was when you were talking about animation, is he did all those Animaniacs songs. Or all, on the cartoons he did like the songs with all those different shows. With Tiny Toons and Animaniacs. I mean, that I can think of. That's the only thing I can think of where he's ever done music of any sort or kind.
Right. So there's my point. And then, to undertake something of this.
What's for dinner?
Salad.
Okay, good. I'll enjoy the salad.
Holy shit. I haven't eaten salad?
And chicken taco salad.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Oh, now that makes more sense. Got it.
So, anyway, with that situation being said, this could make and make or break Steven Spielberg.
Well,
I mean, if put it this way, well, not make or break. No, that's the wrong way to say it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Steven Spielberg will be fine no matter how this goes.
But at the same time, this will be something where people will say, "Oh yeah, Steven Spielberg can do everything, but he can't do musicals." Or
yeah, right.
Steven Spielberg has the golden touch, and he can do it. And if he does this is just another, this will be another jewel in his crown. So that'll be something to see for the future. Yeah, definitely coming out in December, and then of course we're talking about West Side Story. My second trailer was the one for the Summer of Soul. Okay, now I mean Julie just told me about Questlove showing up at the Academy Award at the Oscars, right? At the Oscars with solid gold Crocs, and then he goes ahead and he drops the trailer for the Summer of Soul, which basically looks to me, because I've seen the trailer, looks to me like a black version of Woodstock. Okay, it happened in the same year, in 1969. This film took place, but yet was never released. It was never seen. All of the music that was recorded never saw the light of day. But then here it is. Questlove comes in, puts this up front and center, and said, "This is the soulful Woodstock that never got seen and never got heard from the event from when it took place in 1969, same year, and from the film footage that I got to see of it, it looks like it's going to be dynamite, because we got Stevie Wonder behind a drum kit. We've got Nina Simone at the piano. You got Sly and the Family Stone doing songs. Okay, and the thing that grabs me by the badonga is that they did the Summer of Soul, but yet Sly and the Family Stone also did Woodstock too. And, in 1969, and I'm just like, damn, these people got around. Everybody heard of Woodstock, but nobody ever heard of this Summer of Soul thing. Harlem Fest, I think it was called.
Harlem Cultural Festival.
Harlem Cultural Festival. So here we go with that whole particular, when I looked at the rushes and I see these ads.
Mike, do you have a list of artists that were that? Because I'm assuming you looked this up. Because otherwise,
I've the IMDb of the film up, but let's see here. Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb. What was the Summer of Soul in revelatory footage from the 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival, crudely known for a while as the Black Woodstock, is brought to life in spectacular new film, a still from Summer of Soul, photograph. So Questlove's documentary. There's an article from Rolling Stone, but trailer doesn't really give. I don't see like a list playlist here.
Of course not.
Documentary. It's all about all the IMDb searches are all about the film that's coming, not about the event.
Well, I saw, like I said, I saw Stevie Wonder. I saw Nina Simone.
Okay, Harlem Cultural Festival. Yeah, B.B. King, Nina Simone, Chuck Jackson, Abby Lincoln, Max Roach, The Fifth Dimension, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Mahalia Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Mobs Maybe.
Yep. I'm finding the same article you are that has that.
Mm-hmm.
That has some of the names. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, and that's coming out July 2nd. It's going to be out on Hulu, and it's going to be out in the theater.
It'll be in July, yeah.
Yeah, it blew my fucking mind. I was just like, wow. Wow, what happened that this didn't see the light of day?
I think this was initially supposed to be out in January, but they postponed it because of the Rona. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I'm just looking to see. I was curious who else was in this thing. I mean, I was kind of curious if maybe Hendrix did both or he just did the one. Just like I'm kind of looking at this, I'm like, okay, I didn't see Ray Charles' name, which is kind of surprising.
Well, with the people that were there and the fact that they had Abby Lincoln, which Abby Lincoln was an artist that wasn't as well known in jazz circles, but she was a phenomenal artist. Mm-hmm. The fact that Mahalia Jackson, the Queen of Gospel, that you have Sly and the Family Stone, and then you have Chuck Jackson, which there's only so little footage of Chuck Jackson that's even out there. So to me, this is a stellar presentation that of huge proportions. It'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know when that's coming out. So we'll
July.
see where it is. Is it July? Okay.
Yeah.
July 2nd on Hulu and in the theaters.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not Disney Plus. Hulu figures.
Well, so okay, I didn't watch the Oscars. All I did was see the animated nominations.
Nobody watched the Oscars.
No. Of course, I wanted Onward to win, but Soul won, which made sense. But a part of me wanted Onward because I'm a nerd. So, but that was it. I didn't hear who won what. Don't care.
Oh well, okay. So here's the big. Here, first of all, you're not alone. According to the stats, less than 10 million people watched the Oscars.
No one was like, "Oh, the Oscars!" Like that was a thing.
We're talking about 9.85 million. That's like the lowest.
That's pretty.
Of the low.
That's pretty low for the Academy Award. But in all truth be told, less movies came out last year.
Well, that's the excuse everybody keeps using too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the excuse, but it's not like the numbers have exactly been great the last few years either.
True.
Well, it's the Oscars. Nobody gives a shit. And the point of the matter is the Oscars have never, and I do mean never, have had the pulse of the people about it.
Well,
ever.
Not in the last 20 years. I remember when Gladiator won in 2000 a lot.
Yeah, they're
Titanic,
been here or there. Yeah, and Return of the King.
Right, Lord of the Rings finally. Well, yeah, they gave Peter Jackson all the Oscars for the third one. I mean, the first two they could give a shit, but the third one, okay, the third one will give you your accolades.
Yeah, that was weird. So, I'm with you.
Bought into that.
But so the real crux of it is this, which is here's the big one, which is they decide that Best Picture will not be last this year. They decide that they're going to take a gamble and they're going to make Best Actor the last category because Chadwick Boseman is nominated.
What was the film? Was it the
Ma Rainey's
Black
Black Bottom?
Yeah, Black Bottom, right.
Which he was phenomenal in. He's phenomenal in.
Yeah.
And so everybody thinks it's a shoo-in. Everybody thinks it's a shoo-in. It's going to be one of those post whatever it is, only almost a memorial type of award,
right.
like a memorial level award. So they do Best Picture before Best Actor because they're expecting to have this really special moment, and they have the wife there and the brother and everybody. And the winner ends up being Anthony Hopkins, who isn't even there. And they show a picture, and then they're like, "Good night, everybody." So that's right. So that's the big news. That's the big big news of the Oscars is they went to go they rolled the dice on capitalizing.
This has to be on YouTube. I have to watch.
Oh, it is. They roll the dice on capitalizing on the fact that they're going to be able to do this big tribute to Chadwick Boseman, and all the Academy voters voted for fucking Anthony Hopkins.
Right.
And the best is, so Anthony Hopkins, because we record this show on Monday, Anthony Hopkins this morning is almost apologetic for winning. Because he's not even there, so now he's making this, thank you so much, and he's having this purposely speak out for Chadwick Boseman. And of course, now the spin comes from the family that's well, we understand it's okay that Anthony Hopkins won and all this stuff like that. And everybody's there's certain people in Hollywood that are total spin mode, but this is major league fuck up. I mean, this is
one more fuck up than myriad of fuck ups.
You know what? This is worse than when they announced
when they got the wrong, like for La La Land.
This is worse. Yeah, this is worse than that.
Yeah.
This is worse than that because it just looks horrible. I mean, this looks as bad as that, if not worse, because they're gambling and they're like, I mean, honestly,
yeah, they wanted this big emotional moment.
Yeah, they wanted us to play off of it and have that opportunity. And it's like all the voters pretty much told like all the rest of us to kind of fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's funny. Yeah. Now, in fairness, I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen Anthony Hopkins. I can't compare. I don't know. It is distinctly possible he was better. And in fairness, certain people have said, you know, Anthony Hopkins is getting older now. How many more roles is Anthony Hopkins going to have? Well, the only thing I can say is he's going to have more roles than Chadwick Boseman.
This is true.
So I kind of like. Then there's a part of me I want to say something. I'm going to say it here. Going to say it here.
Yeah.
And because I was going to say it on Facebook, and I bit my tongue, but I'm going to say it here.
I'll say it here.
Which is, you know, I can't help but notice that this didn't happen to Heath Ledger when he won, and that was like a no-brainer, and that happened, and it wasn't a thing at all, and that was fait complete, and it happened, and it was done, and it was a big deal. Now all of a sudden, Chadwick Boseman, that doesn't happen for Chadwick Boseman.
You think he got snubbed?
Well, no, he's snubbed. I hate to say it. It's like, so what are we saying? Only the white guys who die win fait complete and not the black ones? Is that where we're going here?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I didn't want to say it out. I was like, I've been trying not to say it, but I am going to say it here because nobody listens to our show anyway. But, yeah, there's a part of me where I'm like, yeah, if Chadwick Boseman was white, would this really have happened? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think that's what happens here.
Okay, I think, when you look at the overall sensibilities of what happened on the Oscars.
Oscars, not Oscos.
Osco would be better.
But here's the thing. You had movies.
In fairness, there might have been more people at Osco than on the Oscars.
Yeah.
Go to Jewel Oscos. You haven't get the award there. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
But you got it where, you know, you had Billie Holiday, you know, The United States Against Billie Holiday, which was a great film. And then you had, you know, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom with Viola Davis, you know. And you know, and there was a lot of exposure for people of color at the Oscars this year. Okay? But the thing is, the case in point, and you raised a great case in point, Jeff, all right? Which only goes to show that we've got a long way to go.
Oh, no, there's a lot of people who think that we're getting there because of what was done today, and I'm like, not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah, and in fairness, I still think it's interesting because some of the movies that were, like, if we're really going to talk about this year, I will admit that I haven't seen some of the winners, and guess what? I'm not paying $20 to rent them either. You know, which is what it costs right now.
Some of these you have to subscribe to a streaming service, which you don't have.
No, some of them are not on the streaming services at all. Some of them are like, okay. Like the one that won, if I want to watch it right now, it's not on a streaming service. I got to pay $20.
It's on demand?
Yeah, it's on demand for $20. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not paying $20 for that. You know, I saw, you know, of the one, and out in fairness, like I said, I ain't see them all, but I can say this. I enjoyed the hell out of the Trial of Chicago 7. But again, more people watched the Trial of the Chicago 7 probably than whatever won. And this goes back to this goes back to all that stuff again. Like last year, and I know Ivan saw it and he feels differently. But here's an example, like last year with Parasite, where it's like, that's an obscure movie that like was barely in the theaters. And then all of a sudden, because it won, people went to go see it. It wasn't like people went out of their way to go see this movie. I mean, the irony is I was one of them, and I'm like sitting there going, fuck, I wish I could get my money back. Because like I said the other night, I paid full price for that fucking movie. For a matinee of all goddamn things, because it was up at the Highland Park Theater, and they were like, oh, it's only the first show. It's only the first show where we give the discount, or after a certain time in the day. And I'm like, this is such bullshit. There's nobody in this theater. You can give me a price. You can give me a matinee price for this thing. Fuck you. But yeah, I mean, no, I
should have gone back as you walked out. You charged me full price for this film, me?
Well, and yet people's reactions to me is like, well, the funny part is everybody just like, I don't understand why you didn't like it. Well, maybe you didn't have to sit through it in a real goddamn movie theater. Maybe you had to sit through it in a real goddamn movie theater where you couldn't pause it every 5 seconds or and all that shit. Maybe you'd feel differently, because I'm sitting in a real movie theater watching that movie.
Real movie buffs, I think they're kind of jaded from the whole, like, what was it? Who was the one who said, don't watch, Christopher Nolan's, like, don't watch my movies on your phone or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what, it was funny, because the pushback from certain people is, it's like, what do we want? Just the popular movies? No, I'm not asking for the popular movies. Yeah. But all I know is.
But they're the ones that get the feats in the theaters,
right?
The butts in the seats.
We've talked about this before. Yeah. That there's a problem with movie theaters right now, where certain movies are not making it into theaters as they should, because these days it's all about the tentpole movies and not about some of these movies that once upon a time would be solid movies that would make 50, 60 million or 100 million, and they would do good numbers. Well, these days, the answer from the studios is, why do I want to make a movie that can make 50 or 60 million, and when I can make a movie that's going to make $1 billion? That's the real problem. That's where we're at right now.
It's about the bottom line. It's only about the bottom line.
Well, there's always going to be some who are about the art, and there's always going to be some who are about the bottom line. And unfortunately, the studios follow the bottom line more than they do about the integrity of someone's art.
Right. And once upon a time, to make money, those were somewhat aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're not as aligned as they used to be. And the part that I always get frustrated about is some of these guys going after these big blockbuster movies. It's like, that's not the problem. The problem is the studio heads who have basically sat there and said, hey, you know what? The movies that you guys like to make, we're no longer interested in making anymore. But P.S., there's places that can be making those movies, like the Netflixes and the HBO Maxes and the Hulus and all those places. And they're upset because you can't do it in the theater. And that's where the disconnect.
That's where the disconnect is, because that's where the money is now for them. Is in the whole streaming scene.
Well, and the thing is that you've got the Scorseses and the Jodie Fosters and all these people who are sitting there, and they're annoyed because they can't get their shit in a theater anymore. And by the way, they're not wrong. There is something wrong with that. The problem is you're hitting the wrong people on this. The problem is there's a real problem. There's a real problem right now with how things happen, with what gets into movie theaters and what doesn't. And it's not necessarily because there's a new Avengers movie coming out. That's not really fair. And P.S., that new Avengers movie is usually coming out in the summer, and a lot of the movies that we're talking about are coming out in, like, November, December. Yeah, winter time, because that's kind of when you want to be dropping this stuff for Oscar purposes, because you don't want to drop it too early in the year so you get forgotten. Okay?
Right.
It started to get a little earlier, because we'll start, like, when a Star is Born was, like, October or something. But you get the idea. I mean...
Well, to them, the strategy is they're trying to strike it when the iron is hot. And they figure the closer to Oscar time they make it, the better chances it's got to actually get
right.
the Oscar or the nomination, or actually the Oscar itself,
right?
Which was not always the case in years previous, because you got motion pictures that were based solely upon its huge, ginormous appeal, over the top for everything, and you had cases where no matter what time of year you made these movies, that was like wow, and you hope that you could coast the success towards Oscar time. Had that type of
you mean Osco time?
Oscar time. So the point of the matter is now that they're just making sure that they're all jockeying for position in the fall and in the winter. They're all jockeying for position now.
Yeah, we're used to that.
So that's what it's become.
Well, and here's the thing that's interesting about that is they're jockeying for position around that time because they want to be in the sight of some of these people.
Yeah, and they want it fresh in their minds when it starts. When it comes to voting for the Academy Awards.
Meanwhile, movie theaters are looking at the following things, which is, hey, you know what? We make a lot of money on Thanksgiving weekend because people go to films with their families, or on Christmas when people go to the movies with their families, and we open up so we can open big time movies at that time. So that's part of what of where some of the problem starts to become.
Well, it's because, you got families, okay? I mean, how much money can you make off of one person when you can make it off of 4, 5, 6 people in one spot?
Right, sure. Well, and who's going to, although I will say there's certain movies that probably would have pulled out. Like Star is Born, if it showed up in like Thanksgiving or Christmas, yeah, you get people to come watch it. But I will say, like when they put La La Land like on Christmas, it didn't exactly wow the world. I mean, I remember being on Christmas Day. I remember on Christmas Day being there and sitting there and going, okay, this is great. See, now there's an example of something that's amusing to me, which is like La La Land got all this great accolades and ended up being a darling and ended up being on the Academy Awards. Mm-hmm. Conversely, The Biggest Showman was a lot more commercial success, and I get why certain people didn't want to put it there, and yet, in some ways, it did a lot of great stuff, and there was a lot of great music, and there was some great performances in that.
That was a great movie.
Well, I just kind of laughed because that wasn't considered at all, and yet, but the irony is that the theaters were filled for The Greatest Showman, whereas La La Land, not so much. Although I will say, without La La Land, you don't get The Greatest Showman possibly in a theater. So who knows? But the point is, there seems to be. Look, the disconnect's always been there. I mean, the disconnect has been there since '82 when Gandhi beat E.T. We could go down the list of stuff where it's like there have been numerous occasions where this has happened. The most glaring are things like that one or Shakespeare in Love over Saving Private Ryan.
It runs the same typical sensibilities, just like with the Grammys. They missed it by that much.
Well, and
sometimes they miss it by way much.
Well, and that's the part where I think is the biggest part of all of it is, the movie. And it's funny because I'll admit that I went the wrong direction with this in my little rant online, which is I should have stuck to the fact that this show is boring and it's bad, and you're supposed to be the people who make entertainment, and it's not fucking entertaining.
Yeah,
it's not entertaining at all.
A whole lot less entertaining this year than any year previous.
Yeah, but you know what? It hasn't been all that entertaining the last few years either. And P.S.
I stopped watching it. I stopped watching in 82, 83.
Well, I don't know if it's that far back, but it hasn't been entertaining in a while. And P.S. It's not just an Academy Award problem.
It's a lot of the award shows. Aside from the music shows, sometimes you get the performances, but
even the music shows are bad.
Really?
well, I should say that. Maybe American Music Awards is still good because Ryan Seacrest and the Dick Clark people get it a little bit more. They get it a little bit more
on how to
than
put
the
on
Grammys
a show,
do.
yeah.
On how to put on a show.
Right.
Like, they'll have collaborations with people where you're like, wow, that was cool. Like, when they had, and I know this is a while ago already, but this is the best one I can think of more recently, which is when they had, what's his name, the guy who did Gangnam Style, and they MC Hammer do a mashup.
Shy and Hammer.
Right, do a mashup, and that was that went viral. That went was a big deal and went viral. I mean, you don't see that stuff happen as much as it should on the Grammys.
You're right.
That stuff doesn't happen. There's nothing on the Grammys that makes you sit there and go, wow, that was something I didn't expect to see or something. I mean, the last time I can think of anything off the top of my head where everybody was kind of like excited to see what was going to happen was back when Eminem was really hot and he was doing a collaboration with Elton John. I mean, that's the only time I can think of in any sort of recent memory where there was anything of any real interest or controversy that the Grammys was going to do.
Well, I mean, and when you talk about, Grammy performances and how a lot of it has become milquetoast in its presentation now. And, I think back to 84, okay, when you had Cyndi Lauper, When You Were Mine, and she's dogging the stage barefoot and kicking ass and taking names. You got Prince, who did Purple Rain, knocking microphone stands down and searing with a guitar solo that was reminiscent of Hendrix. Okay, I mean things that made your hair stand up, things that made you go wow. You're like
right. I mean there have been a couple here and there, where Gaga basically shows up with a meat dress. I mean, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
You have Bjork. I hope I got her name right, in her little swan dress.
I remember the swan dress at Bjork. Yeah.
I mean, there have been some occasional here or there. It's just, but a lot of these.
And then you have people like Lorde, one song, and you're just like, okay. Best New Artist of the Year. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I won't even get into the Grammys with some of the things how they decide stuff because I can't remember.
It's just as heinous as how they decide stuff. The Grammys.
Oh no, it's worse. The Grammys are worse than the Oscars.
Oh yeah,
the Grammys are worse than the Oscars.
Yeah.
I mean, like that one year off the top of my head. The one I can think of off the top of my head is my all-time favorite. I think it's I can't remember if it was the year that it was the Marshall Mathers LP for Eminem, or if it was College Dropout for Kanye West. And the best album of the year was fucking Steely Goddamn Dan.
That's right.
And I'm like, they haven't done anything of major consequence in like 20 years. And you're like, really? Steely Dan put out a new album? Really? Because I'm not hearing it anywhere. I mean, I understand now.
Let's just say, and I'm going to be the one to do this. You're going to be shocked. Yeah, that's what you get when you get 100 boomers in a room. And they're still kind of lost in their youth. Okay.
Well, it's not even that. Like there was the one year, like Arcadia Fire won, and in fairness, they're a good band, but it was like they're a good band. They're solid. They're solid, but it's like really Arcadia Fire. By the way, I want to be clear. I'm not just talking about the hip hop and the rap stuff. But by the way, those people got a beef, and they had a big beef for a while, and they should have a beef for a while. It's taken them this long for somebody along those lines to finally break the barrier on some of those big award titles. Okay, that's bullshit.
Well, yeah. Well, then of course, what was it? The big controversy that the hip hop and the rap and those categories were going to be done as afterthoughts.
Or they were like the award. Those awards were handed out like a day ahead of time, so there was like a pre-recorded segment or something.
Yeah.
Were they really? Oh my god.
Or some of them, yeah.
Yeah, but
those were like these earlier years.
Well,
they've gone more mainstream now because of the record sales have reflected.
Here's the thing. I'm okay with some of those awards being handed out in advance. If you're going to give me good musical performances of something worthy and noteworthy and earth-shattering.
Yeah, well,
if you're not going to give me that shit,
you pointed out earlier that for a while MTV was putting out better award shows than the networks.
Right. Well, and it's funny.
And Grammys and then all the rest of them.
Right.
MTV.
Yeah.
You were going to say, Jeff?
No, go ahead. My bad.
So, you got the situation with MTV. When you got MTV, where people say, shit, I'd rather go to MTV Awards than the fucking Grammys or, the American Music Awards. I mean, and they had that.
At least their shows, for a time, their award shows were more entertaining.
Yeah, well, that's because MTV being, at that time, the entertainment sensibility. I mean, they, at MTV with the whole 24/7, let's play the videos, and then later on going to all the. I mean, they knew it was for the music, about the music, and the award show, the MTV award shows was about the music. It was about
and the fans.
No, let me take a step further. But it wasn't just that show. The MTV Movie Awards. That was a great show. I mean, that was fun. Like I remember, when it was Seth Rogen and all those guys, and Johnny Depp won, and they're like booing and hissing him because they lost to Johnny Depp, or when I can't remember which one won. It was Will Smith or Jim Carrey, and they're like one of them's like trying to kiss the other one on the lips. Or Jim Carrey shows up dressed up as like a bum and like acts as a totally different character. Like he's like, dude, man. I mean, there was weird shit that would happen on that show that was just crazy.
The MTV Music and Movie Awards are what the Academy and the Grammys would have wanted, or at least would have tried to strive to be. But they're not even close. And the fact is, being the fan-driven things that they were, just made that even more glaringly, most glaringly obvious that, if I had my choice between the Grammys and the Oscars or watching the MTV Movie or Music Awards, I'd rather go watch the MTV Movie and Music Awards because they got it going on.
Well, it's funny you say that because here's what got tossed back at me, which was, but nobody gives a shit about the actual awards, and that's true. I will give you that. Nobody really gave a rat's ass about the actual award. Well, with some exceptions.
Besides, they have to buy them anyway. That's how they get them.
Right, but the point being is, the whole Moon Man thing. I mean, those awards weren't really on the level of even the American Music Awards or the Grammys. They weren't even close. Nobody ever would put them on that level. And same with the movie. I mean, the movie awards were even worse. I mean, best kiss, best this thing. That kind of stuff was like the movie awards, where it was like funsy categories, and it was
like
fun.
Best comic duo or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Nobody was sitting there saying the awards were spectacular awards. But here's what you did get. It was unpredictable. You never knew what was going to happen.
Right. No, you didn't know what was going to say what.
And it was interesting.
It was real. It was on the real. That's what it is. I think that most of those people on the MTV Music and Movie Awards, I don't think they really gave a shit about the fact that they were even getting an award. I think they just wanted the experience of just letting it all hang out and seeing how far we can push an envelope. Hey, we're doing this for the fans. We're doing this for the people out in the audience and shit.
And it was a true party atmosphere.
Exactly.
Well, it wasn't even that. I mean, it was water. I mean, look, let's put it where it is. It was water cooler talk the next day.
Yeah, right.
It was,
right.
and it wasn't not just the next day. People still talk about some of that stuff, like the one where it's Britney and
Madonna
Christina
kiss,
Aguilera
Howard
with
Stern's
the Madonna
man,
kiss.
yeah,
you know.
And
I mean,
here we are years later, and we're still talking about.
Well, here's the crazy part, and in fairness to MTV, the last few years, and not so much, but there have been moments even in the last few years, like when Kanye gets on stage and starts talking about how Taylor Swift should not have won that award, and talk about how Beyonce is the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, say what you want about Kanye, say what you want about Taylor Swift, but let's put it where it is. People still talk about that moment. And by the way, I'm not positive that moment didn't help Taylor Swift far more than she ever wants to admit. Because, she was a big deal, and I think that moment propelled her into being an even bigger star than she ever was. Mm-hmm. But that's my opinion, but since then, she's gone on to really be taking it to even higher heights than at that moment. And like I said, conversely, what did we hear about Kanye about going to the Grammys? It's like, boy, is Kanye going to do anything at the Grammys? They probably had 5 security guards around Kanye going, "Don't you fucking dare!
Don't go up there!
Don't you fucking dare go up there! Don't you even think about it!" And I think that's. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying this ain't fucking TMZ, Kanye. Don't go up there.
Yeah, this isn't the MTV Awards, Kanye. You can't just go up there and start talking and doing whatever the hell you want. And I think that, by the way, I think that's the real other part of it, which is 1, it's network TV. 2, it's about the pomp and the circumstance. And 3, this is the way it's always been done. And to me, I just kind of laugh because it's like, how's that working for you? Because really, it's not really been working all that great for you for the most part. For the most part, for years now, it's been
decades.
This show is long, it's arduous, and in fairness, here's where I'll give the people who sit there and talk about the political stuff a point of view, which is, after a while it is kind of a pain in the ass where it's like, okay, look, are you going to go up there and thank a bunch of people, or are you just going to sit here and make a political statement? And I'm not against political statements, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you're dragging the show, and I get it that this is your only time you get to talk on this in theory, but I don't know. I don't know. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way.
Well, I think, personally, I think that all the award shows are in severe need of makeovers.
Yep.
Severe. Need of makeovers. And then, of course, the whole tedious multiple situations. You know what? I think they just cut to the chase, cut out all the fat from all of this other shit that they do on the shows. And
the 3-hour red carpet pre-show.
Yeah, all of the bullshit that.
Well, here's the thing about the pre-show.
And many times the fucking red carpet show is even fucking better than the award show anyway.
Here's the thing about the pre-show, that stuff. It's like the thing about the pre-show is you don't have to watch the pre-show. You don't even have to look at the pre-show. You don't even have to care about the pre-show.
Yeah. If you care about who's wearing what.
Right. Well, or that kind of thing. And there are those. And then, there is, depending on the networks, there are still some post-game shows on that stuff. And if that's what you want to watch, that's great. I'm not going to begrudge anybody that. At the same time, it's like, there's a part of me where it's like, and I know they'll never do this, but it'd be like,
3 hours.
Okay. It's like, okay, you have 5 minutes, and at 5 minutes, Brock Lesnar comes out and beats the ever-living shit out of you if you keep talking. That's not happening. That's never going to happen. So,
I could be Mike Tyson behind the curtain. You got your 5 laces up, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about, where it's like, if you did something like that.
I want to thank my producers, babysitter's friend, who was so inspirational to me. Hey, why don't you shut up? Why don't you check in?
No, there should be like a horn. It should be like the Hunger Games. There should be like a out comes Mike.
I want to thank my sign person. I want to thank my hairdresser. I want to thank the person that
my limo driver. Bye. All right, next.
Yeah. Or there should be a bunch of, you know what? There should be a bunch of kids in the front row at like the 5-minute mark that have like I don't know, paint pellet guns, automatic paint pellet guns, and start firing. But you know that'll never happen for obvious reasons. And you know there'd be somebody who'd be there who would purposely then stand up there and do it just to try to make even more of a political statement where it's like, and now they're pelting me with things that I'm not going to stop.
We must protect the rainforest and the otters in the Fox River.
I am Marlon Brando, and
it'll sound like Winston Churchill. We'll fight them at the beaches. We'll fight them at the. And you know the sad. That's this is the part that's. You know, the scary part is the funny part is while it's happening, you know that all of like the Hollywood usual suspects will be standing up and standing remotely cheering this person on while they get pelted with paint pellets. Because they'll be the ones like sitting there.
They're going to want to
get that. They're like, bravo, bravo.
Sympathy vote, you know?
Well, not even sympathy vote. It's like, we're going to do what we got. We're Hollywood. We're going to do what we want to do. And this goes back to the problem, which is it's like, look, I'm not against people talking. I'm not against, look, there are some people where it's like, yes, this is their only time they're ever going to be on stage like this. You want to list, like, everybody, including your driver, your best friend when you were a kid. I get it. Okay. But there are some people who've been on that stage a lot. And they do that shit. And you're like, come on.
Almost to the point where you can almost expect that, you know, if they've done this thing for years and they've been around for years, you can almost expect that they're going to say something, you know, to that view, you know?
The Oscars pretty much sucked. I think we can move on from this subject.
No, I understand. The only reason I wanted to bring this up today is it's like, what can we possibly do to fix it? Because it's like, what? How do you fix it?
Paintball guns.
I said, I think paintball guns, Brock Lesnar,
Mike Tyson,
slime. Slime. I don't know. I mean, it's like
you can't do that on television. There you go.
Well, that's the problem. Is that all the things we just talked about would never fly. I mean, just never. I mean, you know, I mean, we can't even get like, you know, it's like funny because it's like the stuff that was funny on the MTV Awards, like when they bring in Chris Rock. Like, because Chris Rock was one of the better ones that they had.
You're right.
Chris Rock would just like tear, would just. Actually, what we're talking about, Chris Rock was on the Grammy. Not the Grammys. He did the Academy Awards, and look at the difference. Chris Rock was like on fire on the MTV Awards. He was just firing away at everybody there, and he was funny as hell.
Yeah.
Right. Academy Awards, it's okay.
You got to be a little more, little hold back a little bit.
Yeah, we need to be a little bit more careful.
Remember what Ricky was it Gervais or Gervais did the Golden Globes? He had that famous to grab your statue and shut up and sit down or whatever speech he did.
Sitting in the front seat.
Yeah, no one cares about you, and you've been to school less than Greta Thunberg, and he was ripping him a new one, and guess what? He wasn't invited.
And then they went back to whatchamacallit, what's her name? Amy Poehler and
Tina Fey. Yeah.
Tina Fey.
Right.
Tina Fey.
They went back to their safe.
So, like I said, I think we can move on.
Yeah, no, like I said. Well, I just wish they would do something interesting. You know, make it interesting again. And
maybe they'll cancel it. We won't have to worry about it next year.
It's funny you say that. There's some people who think maybe that's a possibility. Maybe I don't think they will. I think I don't think that'll get canceled because people.
Again, like I said earlier, man, all of these award shows need severe makeovers, and they need to really get people in. They need to really have a hand on the pulse with this whole thing.
Yeah, and they don't. It all seems like some stodgy, out of touch,
right.
Millionaires in these fancy dresses and money you'll never see in your life, up on stage accepting these awards for these. I don't know. Anyway, so
and the crazy part is, they've gotten some really funny people to do those shows, who suddenly don't seem very funny or very interesting. Like, I still remember, like, Letterman. Letterman absolutely bombed the Oscars.
Yeah.
Bombed it. And it's like, that guy hosts a show on late night 5 days a week, but he bombed the Oscars. And it's like, I don't think it was because of Letterman. I think it was because they didn't give him anything to work with.
They strong-armed him into not,
Right.
They can't laugh at themselves.
Right, yeah, exactly, because you can't make fun of this person, you can't make fun of that person.
Yeah, didn't Billy Crystal do it for a number of years?
He did it for a long time.
Yes, he did. Yeah. And for example, they've gone whatchamacallit, they've gone hostless now. It'll be the second year in a row, because what happened? Because they all got mad at Kevin Hart, who might have actually been good. But,
because they went after his tweets or whatever. So, so we got, I think it's the last thing we talk about is just the Winter Soldier then.
Yep.
The other hero in the Winter Soldier now. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Of course, Disney spoiled it today, so. Actually, the Marvel Legends dropped today, of the Marvel Legends wave of that, you get, you have to buy the whole wave to get the wings for Sam. Because you get Sam with the shield and the new uniform, which is what was in the box. I thought it was just some fancy new wings, but nope. It's the uniform that's obviously highly evocative of when Falcon took over as Captain America.
Yep.
And that was in the box with the red, white, and blue. And the wings.
I thought that's what would be in the box.
Yeah, that was a safe bet, and I was hoping for something a little more functional. But yeah, that was it, because we knew where this was going, because with John Walker's arc as Captain America, his stint as Captain America ended with that. But anyway, yeah, this was a really good finale. I want 6 more episodes, please. Thank you.
Yes, I do too.
We all do.
I'll tell you right now. This might be the best thing that they've ever made from the MCU.
What? Better than Infinity War and Endgame?
Yep.
I'd say I'd put it right up there as the same level as Winter Soldier and Civil War, but I wouldn't say it's the best MCU that ever
Well,
came
that's
out.
what I mean. I mean, if we're talking about... I think it's better than Winter Soldier.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Winter Soldier was a really great political thriller. I mean, it had some of that. This was cool. I liked it. But I'm not saying I wouldn't say it's the best.
I'd put it right up there.
Okay.
I'd put it right up there. I'll take it over Winter Soldier right now. I really do. I think it's the last episode really kind of took it home.
Yeah, we knew where this was leading up to this final battle in New York City with this GRC event and the Flag Smashers coming in, and we don't need to read through the full recap, but yeah, this was really entertaining.
And that speech by Sam is maybe
it was fantastic.
That speech is maybe the best MCU Captain America speech that there has been, and that's saying something. I mean, that's right up there.
And at the end, going to see Isaiah and taking to the museum. Yeah, that was epic. That was really good. That had the feels.
And honestly, I love the fact that basically the whole time Sam's like, nope, I'm not going to fight you. I love that too. I love that was the direction that they went. And an interesting part is, here's what I love about it better than WandaVision, which is at the end of WandaVision, we're all like, okay, so what the fuck does this all mean? What was this all about? Where is it going? And nobody really had a clue, and everybody's like, and it was very, very open ended.
Yeah, Vision, the new Vision, the white Vision flew off, which is the true Vision, the newest incarnation. And then the kids are gone because they were never really real. They were real enough, but then Scarlet Witch goes off to go train, and she goes to hone her new skills as this all-powerful magic user. And that was it.
Like doing shit that's strange shit.
Yeah, and what's her name goes off to space with the Skrulls.
Yeah. So, like I said, to me, I thought that this was a little. This had a lot more finality to it and a lot more clarity. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, it opens quite a few doors as to where things things are going to go next with some of the things that we saw. And so I don't know if there's certain things that you saw that you want to talk about, about where we think we're seeing things move in terms of future storylines and directions, or.
Well, obviously, I did mention, spoilers for Episode 6 of Falcon Winter Soldier. I mean, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Obviously, Zemo's gone now. Agent Carter has got her own agenda now, so. She's been, after being exiled and been in the underworld, so to speak, as the power broker. Now she's got a full pardon, and the government's all like, okay, you can, come on back in. And she's all like, all right, open for business, boys. And, the resolution between Carly and Sam was really good. It got to a point where it's a little bit, okay, they're fighting in the dark alleys, and it's kind of hard to see stuff, and maybe we'll see some more team-ups with Bucky and John. We'll see if they've resolved their situation. And speaking of resolutions, Bucky's, he went back to the old man and laid down the truth, which is what Sam said. He said, you could do the work. You're not making amends. You're avenging, or whatever. That's what he said. So, but it was great. Some great moments. I felt like I was turning a page and seeing some good visuals. And seeing a good story, and this was a good story overall. Arc, he had going back to sends the note back to the psychiatrist and Bucky's arc, and even although I still hated Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, I don't care for that. But even John Walker, U.S. agent, obviously he got the uniform, and so you might still see. Obviously, we'll see him again eventually. And maybe some adventures with him and Bucky. But Sam is, and of course, I loved Sam and Bucky. That's what we thought this was going to be. When we saw that first trailer at the Super Bowl, is that this is going to be like some kind of buddy cop show. But we got a little bit of that, and it was great. And we had the bonding, obviously with this. There was a lot about the familiar bonds that he had with all this his family and his down in New Orleans. Or was it Louisiana?
Yeah,
but down there,
somewhere in Louisiana,
down south, with the boat and all those, and having a little outdoor adventure or whatever, picnic. But it was great. I enjoyed it, and I know people who didn't watch WandaVision because they said it was just too weird, and this one just seemed more grounded. So this was real highly entertaining. I dug it, and I'll probably watch it again leading up to some other series that's coming. Now we got a long wait for Loki, but I think Loki is going to be more that cosmic, crazy antics.
Yeah, and it's going to be weird.
It's going to be weird because it's going to deal with the fact that he's fixing the timeline from jumping out from the Battle of New York in 2012. But I dug it.
So.
And I like Sam as the new Cap. He built it. He wasn't just handed the shield. Nope. Okay, and you're the new Cap. We got an arc for that, and we appreciate that.
Well, and so couple things. So one, the stuff with Sharon Carter is interesting because this is a deviation from the comics, and in fairness, it makes sense because you don't have Steve Rogers anymore. Or at least it doesn't look like we're going to have Steve Rogers anymore. And we'll get to that in a minute, too. It doesn't look like we're going to have Steve Rogers anymore. And, you know, it was basically done in such a way where we never got the Sharon Carter, Steve Rogers romance that you got in the comics. And so the character is very, very different in that regard. And so, yeah, I'm okay with the fact that they decided to make a twist where Sharon Carter is the power broker. Do I have some misgivings about it? I do, just because I like the Sharon Carter character and I liked her in the comics, but I get why they made the moves that they made, because clearly we're not going to have Steve Rogers anymore. And if you want to keep having this person as a character, and she is an in-demand actress and it's somebody you do want, sure, let's give her something different to do and something unique, and let's make a twist on it and let's go a different direction. Okay, fine, I'm good with that, and we can do that, and I'm all right, and I'm all right with it. I'm just, you know, it's unfortunate from that perspective. I don't know that we're done with Zemo, especially given some of the comments that Julie Louise-Dreyfus makes. While that's all, when the explosion happens and they kill off a couple of the members of the One World group, and about the Flag Smashers. So I'm not positive that there isn't going to be some semblance of something there, but we'll see. I thought John Walker redeems himself interestingly enough. I'm not positive we might not see more of Bucky and Sam and John Walker together down the road. And I wouldn't be opposed to that with John Walker now in his U.S. agent role, which I think they'll do more with it. And I'm curious what they'll do with him with U.S. agent, because that's an interesting character. And they've made him, the problem that's interesting to me is they've made him so unlikable that even for all the good things that he did in the last episode, I still think that there's a lot.
Some redemption to do.
Right, and I don't know if people are going to really want to watch that or not. I'm not sure. So I'll be curious to see where they go next with that character, because clearly they have some ideas and some directions with that they want to go. Of the things that were disappointments to me, okay, so you had Rhodey in the first episode.
Yeah, we didn't see Rhodey again.
And I thought it was interesting, especially with everything that went on in the last episode. There were moments where I'm like, okay, War Machine's going to show up here. Now, I will say this. I think a lot of the Sharon Carter stuff that she was talking about at the end, I think that's going to set up to all the Armor Wars stuff that we're going to see having to do with Rhodey down the road. And because she's talking about getting her hands on a lot of different
prototype
technology. Prototype weapons and all that stuff. So I'm not positive that isn't the spin towards Armor Wars and in the James Rhodes Rhodey series with that. So I'm not positive of that. And then I'll just be honest with you. I was really kind of hoping that we would see Steve Rogers, and I was hoping we would see Chris Evans, and I was hoping for a moment between Steve Rogers and Isaiah Bradley. And maybe that moment is still going to come down the road. And maybe that moment will still
when
happen.
Sam says he's gone, I mean that's seems pretty cut and dry.
So that leads to the other news of the week regarding this, which is one. So there's a Captain America 4 happening by the same people who did Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, awesome.
They're not saying whether or not they say it's not going to be Steve Rogers. That said, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's
got to be Sam.
Assume it could be Sam. We don't know. It certainly makes sense that it should be Sam.
Oh man, if they did an Isaiah series in the 50s.
Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what they decide to do, where they can decide to go with it.
Yeah.
The other thing is that's and again, this is all rumor, and I will be clear that this part is rumor. There's rumor that there is a Chris Evans project that is separate than Captain America 4, which is definitely a go. But that there is supposedly, there's a lot of smoke. I don't know if there's full fire on it, but there's talk that, there's a Chris Evans project with MCU, and it's not this project.
But I think he said he was going to reprise his role as the voice of Captain America in the What If series.
Right, but that's already been done. I mean, that's already happened. I mean, if it's that, then then a lot of these sites need to be shot, because shame on them, because that's already been out.
And also
there.
all the clickbaity comic news sites that are just to piss me off.
Yeah, I mean, if that's really where they're going with this about that, but everything I've read is it's not that. So, or at least that's the impression they're giving, because none of them have basically mentioned the what if stuff at all. And that, to me, I feel like that's a given, because yes, there's been talk that that's the direction that they're going in. Who knows? Maybe you're right. Maybe it is more what if projects where they're going to have Chris Evans come in and voice a few more what ifs, because that's an animated. And maybe that's your answer. Now and by the way, and that would be interesting too. What if it's an animated Captain America series where it's Chris Evans? Who knows? I mean, I don't know. Again, there's rumors. It's not 100%, but there's still that talk that it's like, maybe Chris Evans. I mean, the only other thing I can think of is, and this is one thing that I keep thinking about, is at the end of Endgame, supposedly Steve Rogers is tasked with going and getting all the Infinity Stones and bringing them and putting them back. Well, okay, there's the one stone that Loki has. Maybe he's in the Loki series.
Oh yeah, maybe he's going to show up there, because he and Owen Wilson are going to restore the timeline and clip all the branches, so to speak, from the time heist that they did.
Well, I don't know if that's what it is or not, but the long and the short of it is, supposedly Steve Rogers was going to get all these stones and
or put them back. He was charged with putting them back, right?
Right, and we know Loki had one, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we're talking about. Maybe it's that.
So you give this series 5 out of 5 then, I presume?
Oh yeah, if I could give it 10 out of 10, I'd give it 10 out of 10.
Well, it's 10 out of 10 then, or 5 out of 5.
Yeah. If I could give it 6 out of 5, I would give it 6 out of 5.
Yeah, I can't say anything bad about it. I mean, it was cool, man. It was good. It felt like old MCU again.
Right.
So.
Right. It was badly needed. This has been badly needed for a while. And in fairness, this is the best
thing the MCU has given us since Endgame and Infinity War. That's for sure.
I won't go that far.
Okay.
I won't go that far. I won't go that far because I enjoyed Far From Home. I enjoyed Spider-Man.
Yeah, I liked Far. I didn't hate it, but Mysterio was
right.
Expected more as a villain from him. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I get, but you're saying this is the best thing since
Infinity War. That's for sure.
Right. And my reaction is, I'll take Far From Home. It was fun. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So good. Okay. Then any other news this week before we head out of here? We're running a little late today.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything else. I mean, that was kind of the big stuff this week. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Ow!
Holy cow!
Sorry, man. Ouch.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. Let's see, when you don't talk for a while, and then the gain comes up, and when you finally, talk, it blurts out at a high volume rate in my end.
I would become the Cookie Monster.
So Ivan, where you spending this week, and then you're on hiatus for a while?
Yes. Again, by the time our episode drops, I would have done the Tuesday night experience.
Yes, you would have. Yes, you would have. In the future.
Yeah, in the future. But like I said, I'll be doing the Tuesday night experience. That'll be my final one on Spinning Wheel. I'm also doing the last Temple House Rhythm Blues, Jazz, and Blues program, doing a combination of the ladies and gents, the voices of the ladies and gents, which is going to be cross genre, cross decade type of thing. then the Friday Motown train, which of course is all Motown, and that'll be the last thing I'll be doing for Spinning Wheel and everything. And then by Monday night, we will be in Galena. So that'll be fun. Which I guess I may or may not be with you next Monday.
I was about to say, I don't think Ivan's going to be with us next week, Mike.
No. We want to take a week off. That's fine. Let me know.
That's fine.
Well, and if I don't, then have a great vacation.
Well, yeah, and then after that, and then basically, I mean, I'll be continuing on, potting with you guys on the Mondays, but I'm just not going to be doing not going to be doing much else, for a while. So, it'll be great. And that's what's happening on my behalf. What are you up to, Jeff?
Like I said, so by the time we do the next show, it'll be a little bit late. So I'm doing May 4th. I'm doing the Love and Star Wars show, and that is a 7:00 show. There's an Eventbrite link. I'll kind of put it on the Squares page so people can find it. I do have Sunday Night Stories that's coming up this week. We have 4 really great storytellers, and that's exclusively on Clubhouse. That's 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 on the West Coast. So there's that. And then I'm doing a contest on Sunday, so we'll see where that goes.
Contest winning fabulous prizes?
Yeah, I wish. Winning fabulous Toastmaster prizes, but sure, not so fabulous. And then I don't even get toast, though. Yeah, I know. So there's that, and then we'll see where it goes. Oh, I'm sorry. I am technically hosting a room on Thursday, because this will get out in time. Thursday, a room on Clubhouse. Public speaking, storytelling, TEDx, Ask Us Anything at, I believe it's 2:00 Central. So if you're listening to Clubhouse, you should check that out.
Yeah, when I'll probably catch some of your future stuff, because I know Soraya's got she's got an Apple iPad, so I'll be able to check you out, and and it's great that you're doing what you're doing there with the Clubhouse thing.
Honestly, when we're all there, I think there's a way, Mike, to do it where we could record and be on Clubhouse, which I think could be fun. Because we could be doing this entire show in a Clubhouse room, which would mean also it's kind of funny if we'd have an audience.
Well, that would be choice. I'd like that.
We got to get Ivan on an Apple device.
Yeah. Well, right. Do you have an Apple device or no?
I do. We need
do
Ivan
you?
to get
Okay.
one.
So we just need to get Ivan to get one and figure out how we do it. Cause
get him a 3GS with a 1.5-inch screen.
and of course it's got to have 3 gigs, at least 3.
At least half a gig of memory.
I have a gig of memory.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah, bad. So basically, we want to
watch the Oscos on the 3GS.
Yeah. What do you get it from Radio? Where were you getting it from? Radio Shack or something?
That's right.
Well, Radio Shack is a thing again.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I've seen.
Does that mean I can get a Trash 80 again?
Huh?
A Trash 80? A TRS 80?
Yeah.
Does that mean I can get a gray Shockwave Galactic Band again?
How about a TI 99 or a Commodore 64?
Or that pretend robot arm that you'd ran on 2 joysticks? You could pick up little plastic bottles or something with your robot arm, the Armatron.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
That or you could get the assistant, where it's kind of like, two alligator clips on a couple of arms and everything with a big magnifying glass, so it actually helps you out while soldering things together.
I can't use a magnifying glass when I'm painting or when I'm doing any kind of arts and crafts work. I need the 3 dimensions. I can't look through a magnifying glass to do any kind of work like that. I need to see it with my bare eyes.
Well, I mean, my eyes are going to shit anyway, and my readers are starting. I'm sure that the next time I go to the optometrist, I'll probably have Coke bottle glasses when I come back. But
you're like Harry Carey. There you go.
Hi.
Have a nice cold Budweiser, Ivan.
Oh, hey, I'll be at the spinning wheel later.
I'll be at the spinning wheel later, Ivan. All right, check me out. See you at the Oscos.
So we're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe, when to get new content. You can listen to the show on your usual podcast hosting platforms, Google, Apple, Spotify, Anchor. And, of course, follow us on Facebook, and that's where we have our side hustle, News of the Squared, where we have our wacky news stories and our nerdy stories and memes, which we like to share on our Facebook page. Ivan is on Twitch.tv at Java and Ivan. Jeff is on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that on Dynamite Productions and on Clubhouse. Email us at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us here at the Squares of the Round Table. And we're happy that you joined us once again. And in the hopes that we'll catch up with you, well, you'll be catching up with my buddies, Jeff and Mike, next week. And you go ahead and you enjoy their company as they give you the very best that they can muster through the interwebs. Yes, indeed.
Can I admit that I'm bummed that the Alpine Slide is not open because I really want video of Ivan on the Alpine Slide?
Well, maybe we'll have to do another Galena trip, man, and then I'll go ahead. I'll do that for you.
Just break into the place, just like Waller World when it's closed.
Just like Wally World or something.
All right, we can talk more about this in News of the Square. Have a great week, everybody.
Have a great evening, everybody.
What he said.